Sandra all the time is here with the cold hard truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. So tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, to call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra.
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. Good morning, K-Man. Happy Thursday. Give me one quick second here. We're going to get started in just a few. All right. Wonderful. We just wanted to ensure that we had all of our links going out to everyone. We have to start Instagram separately. That's a special link. So we want to make sure our IG folks are included because we know that they sit back and enjoy the program just like everybody else. So big shout out to our Instagram followers. Good morning to everyone. Roll call. I see all the usual suspects are here. Thank you so much for joining. And don't forget, you can join the WhatsApp channel so that every single morning you conveniently get the show links delivered straight to your inbox. And that's like super easy to get that in WhatsApp. And then you just click on your choice. You've got YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, Bobo, which is now Bobo 103.1. So they're transitioning from the 89.1 to 103.1. So make sure if you're listening via Bobo and you've not yet changed over your dial to 103.1, you will want to do that because before you know it, the regular station will no longer be there. You're going to be hearing static instead of the show. So don't let that happen. Go ahead and switch over from now. They're simulcasting right now. And then eventually that frequency will no longer be working. So there you go. And we still have plans. I know I told you guys, we're looking at starting our own station this year. That's one of our major objectives for 2025. And so we're going to move forward with that. It's just that right now we're in the middle of an election cycle. And ooh, honey child, we are so incredibly busy. Important topic today. Let's go ahead and welcome some special guests into the studio. World Kidney Day is being celebrated around the world. So this is such an important topic, and we want to see what sort of advances have been made as it relates to local kidney transplants, because a lot of people have been inquiring about this actually for years now. So March is celebrated around the world as Kidney Month. Let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Shamari Scott into the studio.
Good morning, Sandy.
Shamari. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm good. Good morning, Cayman Islands.
Fantastic.
Everything is
fantastic.
awesome.
We actually also have in the studio with us Dr. Amit. Let me see if I can get the last name. Mahapatra. Close enough?
Close enough.
Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
All right, Dr. Amit, thank you so much for joining us. Shamari, will you do the honors of...
I will. But Dr. Amit, did Sandy pronounce your last name correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, a lot of patients ask me, how do you pronounce Mahapatra? So, it's just a jargon. So, I said, just remember Cleopatra. So, there is somebody at Mahapatra.
All right. So we're having a little bit of an issue, Dr. Amit, with your audio. I'm not quite sure. So let me just pull you out for a quick second while you work on that. And Shamari, you can tell us all about him.
Definitely. He sounded a little bit robotic when I was hearing him speak. But yeah, Dr. Amit has close to 20 years of experience. Mm-hmm. He actually is our consultant in nephrology as well as kidney transplant medicine. So it's timely that you're talking about transplants as well. Mm-hmm. So he's done over 3,000 native and graft kidney biopsies, over 5,000 tunneled hemodialysis catheter insertions, and over 600 fistula creations. And he has done that independently. And he's actually a kidney transplant expert, end-stage renal disease management expert, dialysis management expert, and the list goes on, but those are the three that people probably would be most familiar with speaking about. So he actually joined us based on the fact that very shortly, fingers crossed, there will be a kidney transplant program here to start. And we're working with the government, CMO, etc., to get that off the ground. And Dr. Amit was specifically brought in for his skills in that area so that we can help to alleviate a lot of suffering and better quality of life and the such through that type of procedure. But that's definitely a conversation fully for another day, especially whenever that's going to be ready for launch as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because I know there's so many people. Dr. Amit, let's go ahead and try your audio again to see how you're sounding.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
It is some better. Yes, I think we're on to a better sounding. Very good.
Okay.
Yes. So welcome to the program. These are some amazing credentials. March being, Kidney Month. Of course, it's one of those organs that we still need, right? So we can't live without a kidney.
Yeah, absolutely. So every day, it's not about a month. It's every day that we focus on how we can prevent kidney disease, how can make aware people that they should look into the kidney disease. But yes, this World Kidney Month, which is organized by National Kidney Foundation worldwide, and this is World Kidney Day is an organization which finds out ways to reach out to people, find out to create more collaboration between healthcare, between the communities, between the government. So it is like a symbol of what we have done till now and what we need to do. And there's a long way to go in sense of making aware people, healthcare professionals, organizations, communities to look into kidney as a major organ and look into the kidney disease as a major challenge that in the days to come ahead.
Yes. How prevalent is kidney disease? We'll get into some of the details here, but how prevalent is that?
So if I take for the stat, this is seventh most common cause of death worldwide, but it is not that we are aware of. Like I said, we are more alerted about heart disease, strokes, because they create problem right in front of your eyes. So it makes people aware of those things. But kidney is like a silent disease. It keeps on in your body, keeps on creeping to an advanced stage where there is nothing can you do. Uh, there is advancement in the management of stroke, management of heart attacks. So you see the risk of mortality, the risk of death has come down significantly over years. But if I look into kidney diseases, the risk of mortality has really gone up. And they are expecting that by 2040, it will become the fifth most common cause of death worldwide, even surpassing diabetes, road accidents, Alzheimer's, more than that. So if we are not going to do anything right now, especially checking it early, protecting it, will be too late in the days to come. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So very, very topical. And I think you're right that there's so many people who just don't think about their kidneys. You know, they're working hard for us every single day. And this is an excellent opportunity. World Kidney Day coming up, which is that would be today. I actually think the second Thursday of March every year, and then every month of March celebrated as World Kidney Month. So important to know about this organ. So let's start talking about it. It brings I love these sort of theme months because, as it says here, it really allows professionals, organizations, and communities to promote the different health, and this month, of course, kidney health, through education, prevention, and early detection initiatives. So let's talk a little bit about what the theme is this year. It says, "Are your kidneys okay? Detect early, protect kidney health." Why is early detection? I suppose, like anything else, early detection can save your life.
Yes. So this is like the theme. We are going back 20 years. So over the years, we have different themes. But what we have found out that we have not created enough awareness. We have advanced in management of kidney disease. We have advanced in management in teaching the other healthcare professionals about how they identify kidney disease and refer to us early. But we have not reached out to people who really matter, right? So unless they know that there is a kidney protection available, there is a reason why we need to check our kidneys. So we won't be getting into the masses. It doesn't mean that we go ahead and check every individual in the world. It means that those patients, so basically those are at high risk. They have diabetes, or they have hypertension, they have heart disease, or anyone in the family who have a kidney disease, or they are having some kidney injury in the past, they have been mentioned. So they are the ones who should look into if they have chronic kidney disease, and they should detect it early. So there are now advancements where we have drugs, we have methods where we can protect the kidney disease progression, and then you can save the kidney for future. That's more important. So the checkups are more important right now. So we are back to basics, back to the same thing that we reiterated 20 years back, that you should check your kidneys.
What is the role of the kidneys? We've got two of them. What do they do?
So it's like a drainage system of your body, right? So whatever you eat, it breaks down small particles, small molecules where they work. They give you energy. They give you a lot of minerals to work in your body. But they need to get out of from the body once they have done their work. So there are only two ways that they can get out of the body: from your stool or from your kidneys. So kidney is more of a drainage system. Not only it takes out the toxic substances, it takes out the extra water that you get accumulated in the blood. But these are not the two only functions of the kidney. So they do balances your electrolytes. They do produce some hormones which manages your blood pressure, or which creates an hormone which causes your hemoglobin to be normal. That prevents from anemia. So they have a lot of other functions, but that the two most important functions that remove the toxic substances from your body and remove the excess fluid and rebalancing the electrolytes.
Very, very good. So an extremely important role. Now we've heard of people having like kidney transplants, and I know Shamari said hopefully that's coming soon. But can you live optimally with just one kidney?
Yes, absolutely. So one kidney doesn't mean that you have a kidney problem. So there are like 2% worldwide. They are born in one kidney and they never had a problem with their kidneys.
Oh.
Even patients donate their kidneys to their relatives and they live a good life. So it's a fortunate for us that God has given us two kidneys. It's like more of a backup. If one gets down, the other is ready to work. So you need only 50% of your kidneys to work at a single point of time. If we remove one of the kidneys, the other kidney starts working 30-40% more. So like even you are at 70-80% of what a two kidneys could do. So in a transplant, so likewise the patient gets one kidney from his donor. The donor have also one kidney, and both the kidneys starts working almost 80% capacity of what the two kidneys do at a single point of time. But we need only 50%. So we are still ahead. We're still at excess of supply. So no issues if you have single kidney.
That's amazing. It's like the kidney has a PhD. It's so smart. It knows to just accommodate for not having. Wow, that's fascinating. Is that the only organ that we know that does that? I'm kind of curious.
So every has capacity to regenerate, increase the potential. Like so, nothing like a liver. So you take out half of the liver, the rest part of the liver starts growing up and fill the space. Kidney doesn't have that amount of potential, but they can just multiply their action efficiency, but they cannot grow. That's true. That's why chronic kidney disease is something we are bothered. Something years ago people thought of it's like a death sentence. That's why rather than expecting a point where your kidneys are all gone, you need a transplant. You start early, check your kidneys when they're healthy, and protect them as long as you can.
Fantastic. Folks, don't forget the show line. Phone number is open 936-2626. If you have any questions about this, please do. Now, I did make an observation here. You said it releases hormones with functions such as managing blood pressure. We'll talk about some of the signs here, but if you're having issues with your blood pressure, could that mean that the kidney itself isn't working optimally?
There are two kinds of blood pressure disease called hypertension. So one is called primary hypertension, where you have genetically your parents or somebody in your family have hypertension. You might get hypertension at certain ages, like around 30s and 40s. People used to get hypertension. 90% of times they are the primary hypertension. So you didn't nothing to worry about that, and your blood pressure is not too high. When they get detected. But anything beyond this age group, like somebody gets detected for hypertension at age of 60, or somebody gets detected at age of 15. So in both ages, these extreme ages, there are more likelihood that they could be due to the kidney disease. There are certain other diseases also cause hypertension, like your adrenal gland. There are other hormone glands in your body which produces a hormone, so it balances blood pressure. But most of the time, in the extremes of age, the hypertension detected is most likely the kidney. So we do. So the physicians will know that if the patient comes with a hypertension, which is not typical, who don't have a hypertension history in the family, that when you first detected a blood pressure in any patient.
Okay, good to know. All right, fantastic. All right, wow. So it's very, very interesting. Shamari, you learning a lot in class today? I see you're sitting there smiling, going, "Yes."
I'm on mute. I have a new computer, so I have to find where the mute button is.
Yes.
So I'm just making sure I know where everything is. But it's great to have somebody like Dr. Amit, because obviously he stretches from all of the different areas that have to do with the kidney. So he's very versed. He's getting nervous because he wants to help people even more with doing the transplants. But until then, obviously, we can do a lot of the preventative types of discussions, as well as to make sure that people don't get to that end stage. But in the future, those that would need dialysis, we're obviously going to be able to really help them as well with their quality of life moving forward. But yeah, World Kidney Day is a great day where we can get to learn a lot of what we may not know previously.
Yes.
And it seems like we have so many organs, but at the end of the day, with good diet and exercise and having your checkups, we definitely can lead healthier lives. So it'll be interesting,
Absolutely.
especially going into this political season, to see how many people are going to speak about a healthy population being a key to our future as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we see some numbers that are extremely concerning. So,
Definitely.
risk factors, Doc, for kidney disease, including diabetes and high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, the things that we always talk about that are associated with so many other issues, also have a negative impact on the kidney. If you have a family history of chronic kidney disease, any sort of inherited kidney disorders, what sort of kidney disorders can you inherit? What sort of family history might you have as well? So tell us a little bit about what chronic kidney disease is.
So there are two different things. One is called familial kidney disease. One is genetic kidney disease. Genetic kidney disease, you might be the most common that we can see in the island is ADPKD. It is called a cystic disease. There are cysts in the kidney that appears at certain age, and they keep on growing till they make the kidney fail. So those diseases you'll get a definitely history of either of the parent or a mother or a father will have the same amount of kidney disease. Your siblings, brothers, sisters might have, and it is like a 50-50 chance of inheriting the disease from your parents. The familial kidney disease are different. So like if I am a diabetes and I didn't have a kidney disease in my life, my child may have a diabetes. So also he may not have a kidney disease. But if my parent have a diabetes along with kidney disease, so it makes me a risk. Even if I get diabetes at any point of my age, I'll definitely have a kidney disease. So this is called familial. It is more, I'll say, environmental, certain genetic factors which we don't know. But the inherited kidney disease, we do know what are the genes that they do, and they do is at very early stages of life, and most of the times they are not preventable. But if we should detect that you have inherited the gene early stages, so we have drugs, we have things to do, which not everyone does. So to protect the kidney for a longer period of time. So my parent might have a kidney disease or have failed kidney at age of 50. Even if I have the same disease, certain processes like the medications and the lifestyle changes can protect it till age of 60 or 70. So that 10 and 20 years of kidney life that I can buy just having some discipline in my life. That is what we do for this.
Very, very good. So again, folks, some of the risk factors you should be aware of course. What sort of medications are we talking about that negatively impact the kidney?
As you see, a lot of patients take this over-the-counter drugs, the painkillers, as like ibuprofen, diclofenac. So these painkillers, even a single drug can cause kidney damage. Even multiple drugs may not cause. But if you're taking repeatedly over time, gradually they keep on affecting the kidney, and the kidney may progress to a chronic kidney disease. So those medications, if you are having pain and you need these medications too often, you should meet your GP to understand that if there is something we can give instead of giving these certain kind of drugs. There are others, like when you get admitted in hospitals, there are certain antibiotics that we give. If you have a risk factor of kidney disease or a kidney disease, the physician should know that you have before he administers this drug. Even if we do like CT scans and where we give contrast to look into your organs, they are also the ones which can cause kidney damage. So if you have any of the risk factor, if you have a kidney disease in the past, definitely you should let know your physician that I have, so that they may avoid giving those drugs.
All right. We do have a caller in the line. Good morning, caller. Question or comment
Hi.
for our doctor this morning?
Hi, good morning. You
Good
know
morning.
where I am,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
I'm listening carefully.
Yes.
And the doctor is speaking the truth
Yes.
because I have information of everything that he is saying.
Uh-huh.
And he is so right. I'm not going to say too long on the line, but
Mhm.
I'm listening carefully.
Yeah. Is this
And
something that you're
everything
dealing
that
with
you said,
yourself?
yes,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
yes. So that's why when that come on this morning, I make sure
Mm-hmm.
I sit and listen carefully. And many
Yes.
of the things that he said is what already said to me. But
Yes.
we'll talk.
All
You
right.
all take care now. Thank you, doctor,
Yes.
for more
Thank you.
information.
Thank you
Thank you for
very,
your
Okay,
very
time.
much. All right.
bye-bye.
Thanks, dear. So that listener says that she is sitting back and listening to the program because she's someone who is impacted by kidney disease. So very good. And I'm sure there's lots more like her. So these are the risk factors. How do you know that your kidneys are not working optimally? What are some of the signs that you should be looking out for?
Yes, so unfortunately, kidney disease doesn't have any particular signs and symptoms, except few. It is not will present like that. Like you can see swelling in your feet, you can see frothiness in the urine, you can see swelling around your eyes. But swelling in the feet can happen due to n number of diseases, like you have heart disease, you have liver disease, anything that will causes low albumin in your blood can cause swelling in the feet. So it's so unfortunate, I'll say, for us to identify as early. And 90% of kidney disease won't have any symptoms. So unless
Mm-hmm.
I check them, unless I know that there is something going on wrong in my kidneys, it's hard for anyone to detect at very early stages. That's why we look into primary prevention. So once you know that you have kidney disease, most of this diseases doesn't have a cure, so it won't go away. Won't stop. So knowing it more sense than knowing at certain stage, which is where we do secondary prevention. That means we know there is a disease, we do something to retard its progression, but we can't reverse it. So
Mm-hmm.
primary prevention is most important for all of us.
Mm. Hmm. Very, very good. Thank you so much. So this is why things like your executive health check is probably very important to have, some testing done that will check different levels. And they do look at your kidneys and stuff for any lesions and so forth as well. They do a proper scan of your major organs. So prevention and treatment, lifestyle changes, a lot of these, again, are good for other things that we've talked about here in the program, but everything from making sure you're controlling your blood sugar and blood pressure levels. And it seems like the blood sugar and the blood pressure kind of go hand in hand, Doc. If one is having a problem, a lot of times you're going to have in short order an issue with the blood sugar or the blood pressure and vice versa. So controlling both of them seems to be equally important. Maintaining a healthy body weight through a balanced diet and physical activity, making sure that you're staying hydrated and avoiding excess salt. So let me take a sip of my water as we talk about hydration. Oh, Doc, it's so hard to drink water for
What
me.
about the salt, Sandy? What about the salt?
I'm not too bad with salt, Shamari, because I don't even really cook with a lot of salt. But except for my one thing is mango season. Doc, I don't know if you guys have this in India, but we like it's kind of like it's not really pickled, but it's I guess a similar concept where we eat half ripe mangoes with salt and pepper and sometimes vinegar, and we do a little sauce. So I don't do the vinegar a lot, but I do like to sprinkle some of the salt and pepper on there. So we're coming into mango season now, and I know that mangoes are actually very, very high in oh gosh, what's it called? Oh, help me out here, Shamari. They're not good for people who have sugar problems because they're high in what's it called?
What, fructose?
Well, they're high in sugar, but it's the starch. It's a very starchy fruit. So even if you're not eating it fully ripe, and you're thinking, oh, it doesn't have that much sugar because it's not ripe, it is still very, very starchy. It's one of the starchier fruits, so that's why you've got to be careful with your mango intake. But it's mango season is coming on us, so it's going to be difficult. But yes, I try to cut back. I've got some now already on the counter, ready for some salt and pepper.
Make a sandwich bag for me, Sandy.
Yeah, right. So it's important to try to do these things right, and of course, avoiding excessive salt is important. And some people, Doc, they think they can sort of work around excessive salt. You'll hear them talking about, oh, well, I can use the pink Himalayan salt because that's healthier than the regular table salt. Is there any such thing as a healthier or healthy version of salt?
That's a myth. So when I talk about healthier salt, that means sodium chloride is what that salt makes. So if you put potassium chloride in that, so it makes half of the sodium chloride. But sodium is the real molecule which increase your taste buds. So when you taste those salts, so those healthier salts will taste little less salty. So you end up putting more of that salt to get the real salt flavor in your food. So that's how you end up getting the same amount of sodium chloride. So if you are cutting down your salt intake, you change your taste habits, how you eat food. That is more important than using healthier salts, because at the end of the day, if you calculate how much grams of salt you are using, so the one is advised is 5 to 9 grams per day, including those salts already in your food. So that means no more than 1 teaspoonful of salt in 24 hours. So I'm not sure that if anybody is using that amount, it must be putting more salt. You get more packaged food, which is laden with salt, and there are foods which already have salt. So you end up having 2 to 3 times what actually salt is
recommended. Yeah. And I mean, the thing about it is a lot of times, just like sugars, salts are in foods that we don't even think about. It's kind of helped to preserve certain types of foods and stuff as well. But cheese, for example, I didn't realize that cheese has salt in it. So if you're cooking like a macaroni and cheese dish, for example, you don't need to add any salt because the cheese already has the salt in it. And also a lot of times we're using butter, which has salt, unless you use unsalted butter. So just a few things there to consider. So Inspiring is here for the conversation, says good morning. How can regular medical checkups help with the early detection and prevention of kidney disease?
So early detection is the one what regular medical checkup will do for you. Prevention is a separate thing. So it doesn't mean that you have to have a separate kind of separate set of tests that you have to do for kidney. So it is as same as what you do for an annual health checkup. So you just add on everybody who goes for a checkup, they do check for liver function, they do check for function, to any protein. See there is a trait. So one is not into urine. So this is a test that.
Sorry, Doc, we're having a little bit of audio issue again. I'm not quite sure. It sounds like I don't know if the batteries on your headsets are going low or something, but something keeps kind of clipping your audio a bit there. Yes. Did you have hardwired headsets before? Yeah, I'm not quite sure if it's let's try it again and see. Yep, just unmute yourself so we can see if it's any better there. So the answer Inspiring, I was catching bits and pieces of it, is that basically part of the routine and medical checks is they do check things that will indicate if you're having any issues with your kidney function. So that, your executive health checks are very, very important.
I'll just say 4 things. Can you hear me now? Right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So first, when you go to meet your physician to do a regular health check, they will check your blood pressure. Okay. So they'll know if you have a high blood pressure. They check your weight, and there is one thing called BMI, body mass index, where you know if you are overweight, if you're obese. So that is the second thing that you check as a prevention for the kidney. The 2 tests they do is, one is the urine routine, and one is the kidney function test, where you look for creatinine level. So that gives you a specific idea of kidney function, which you might be heard about before. It's called GFR. So GFR puts you in a category if you have a kidney disease or not. Sometimes this creatinine report itself doesn't indicate that you have a kidney disease, but when you calculate for GFR, they show you what stage of kidney disease you have. Supposedly, I just give an example.
Mm-hmm.
A 40-year male checks for his kidney function and the creatinine is 1.1, he
Mm-hmm.
might have a normal kidney function when we calculate a GFR. But
Mm-hmm.
same creatinine 1.1, an 80-year-old female 1.1, she might be in a kidney disease stage 3. So only looking at the creatinine values when you get your reports doesn't tell you much unless you calculate the GFR. Nowadays, we have made it mandatory that when you check for creatinine, the GFR should come along with it. So if you getting checked at Health City or getting checked at HSA, you will see there is a GFR value always been attached to your creatinine values. So you can stage yourself if you are normal kidneys, if you have CKD, you can calculate from the GFR. But the physicians are one that are going to interpret, are going to tell you that you have a high blood pressure, you are obese, you have in the urine, you have high creatinine. So from there, they can pick up 99% of patients who have risk or who are having a kidney disease at this moment.
Interesting. And of course, El Rey is here, and he mentions these creatine and cystatin C blood tests. So he seems to be up on it in terms of kidney disease. So very, very interesting. Inspiring also wants to know, how does alcohol consumption and smoking affect kidney health? Well, we know smoking is, most of us are well aware that smoking is a big no-no for cancers and, the constriction of supply of blood and everything to all sorts of major organs. But a lot of people still haven't gotten the memo that alcohol consumption, now we're knowing more and more about it, there's no healthy amount of alcohol consumption is now what medical professionals are telling you. So even that one glass of wine a week that you were thinking was okay, the healthiest position would be no alcohol whatsoever. But how does alcohol impact kidney health and kidney function?
So as of now, smoking is a big no-no for patients who have kidney disease because they know to cause increased progression of kidney disease. They also have high risk of kidney cancer, bladder cancer. So smoking is a big no for us. For alcohol, we don't have medical data that alcohol directly causes any kidney damage unless alcohol is combined with something like somebody have a heart disease, taking a lot of alcohol, and heart failure happens, that will indirectly definitely affect the kidneys. So alcohol doesn't affect kidney directly. We always tell our patients to moderate your alcohol intake. But yes, if you have other comorbidities like you have heart disease or a liver disease, definitely we'll ask for the similar specialty to look into for the advice on alcohol intake. The first question that I got, cystatin C is very, very intelligent guy. He must have gone through some of the tests where the creatinine value is high, and the doctor might have advised, oh, the creatinine is high, but it seems that your kidneys are fine. Just look into cystatin C. So cystatin C is another marker. I'll not say it is most accurate. It doesn't depend upon your muscle mass. What happens that the Afro-Americans or the Caribbeans, they have a very good muscle mass. So creatinine is a byproduct of your muscle and protein creatine. So when you have a high muscle mass, unfortunately, your serum creatinine will show a high level. So from there, if I calculate your GFR, I'll show that, oh, you have kidney disease because you have a high creatinine. So in that case, if I measure cystatin C, the cystatin C comes from your, not from your muscle, from your body tissue. So it is almost stable. It is, I'll say it is more accurate to your body mass rather than the creatinine. In that case, you will have a fair value of your kidney function. But the advised guideline is measure both creatinine and cystatin C and calculate your GFR. There is a different calculation for that. But cystatin C is not easily available. If I need to get a cystatin C, it's not available in the island. I have to send it to US. I will get a report after 7 to 10 days. I don't know if the value is correct or not. So most of the times you rely on creatinine value, and it is easy, it is cheaper, it can be done quickly to get your kidney function test. When we have in doubt that this is a normal kidney, but it's why the creatine value is high, we go for checking the cystatin C.
Very interesting. Okay. Wow, learning so much here today. So the next question here is, what dietary recommendations are beneficial for maintaining healthy kidney functions? And if there's certain foods, well, we already said excessive salt. Are there any other types of food that you might want to avoid, like spicy food? Does that impact the health of your kidneys? Heavily seasoned meals? I'm guessing probably anything that's like high fat and sugar, those things would not be healthy for you. But is there anything else that we could be avoiding?
In the diet, we advise for a healthy diet, low salt diet. So what does healthy diet means? Like high fiber diet, for fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, anything that is packaged, stored, are laden with salt and sugar. So if you cut down on the sugar, that will help on your body weight management. If you cut down on the salt, you help in your blood pressure control. And healthy diet will keep your bowel regular, and you will feed more light. So therapy is towards you body.
Yeah, we're getting that noise, that clipping of your audio again. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the headsets. I think it might be the headsets themselves, but I don't know if they're losing a connection or if it's a power issue. But just I got the answer inspiring. So basically, the other things that we always talk about in terms of a healthy diet apply across the board to all organs. So limit your sugar intake, your salt intake, limit your high fats. Follow more of like a Mediterranean style diet. I think that's the one that most dietitians and physicians find have the healthiest benefits. There are some healthier fats like avocado and stuff that you can incorporate into your diet, but a good amount of protein. Don't overdo it on the protein, because some people want to just eat protein all the time. It's about balance with so many different things. But yes, excellent. Good morning to Miss Dawn. Good morning, Marshall, joining us from North Carolina. Banana Orchid says pair with protein. So again, protein seems to be, everybody thinks protein's the winner, but with all things in diet, moderation really is the key. So don't overdo it on the protein either. So Damien is wondering if drinking water all the time is good for your kidneys. What kind of water? And I see now that certain types of water are not healthy, and all these juices and sodas with artificial flavor and sugar are just loaded with sugar. So this is important to talk about what we're drinking, because a lot of times when we think about our diet, I'm trying to do better myself these days in that department, but we only think about the food that requires chewing. We're not thinking about the beverages that we drink, and the beverages can be just as detrimental, folks, to your overall health and well-being and diet. So I've got a friend, him and I went to the grocery store the other day. We were looking for a particular salad dressing, and we popped in there, and he was picking up smoothie drinks. He wanted juices. He wanted all these prepackaged juices. And I said to him, listen, eat your food, don't drink your food. And so I love a good smoothie. Oh my God, Miss Stacy makes like the best all fruit smoothies. And it's so tempting when she does make them for me to just drink that like as a meal replacement. But that's just sugar, unless you're having just a vegetable smoothie. But again, it's better for you to eat your vegetables as opposed to drinking your vegetables. So Shamari and I were talking about this the last time we met up in person. And Shamari was saying, Shamari, you gave a very good explanation. I wonder if you could share that in terms of what the nutritionist said to you about even the quantity of what you're drinking versus what you're eating, if it was like a fruit versus a fruit smoothie.
Right. So, obviously with nature, if you eat an apple, for instance, it's one apple that you're eating with the sugars, natural sugars in it. But then if you blend it, you'll have 5 or 6 apples in there in order to make a drink, which then means you're getting that much more of the natural sugars, which definitely wouldn't be good for you in that quantity. So if you're going, especially it takes you more time to eat fruits, and it also gives your stomach more time to know it's full versus if you just drink it in one sitting, and then you may want another glass of the juice, even if it's freshly juiced. That's what the nutritionist at one point was explaining, why it would be better to just eat an apple versus drinking it based on the quantities that you'll be using.
Yeah. And then, of course, not only are you getting all that excessive sugar, but you're not getting the benefit of the fibers and stuff that are in it if you actually eat it.
And
so try to eat your food, not drink your food. I mean, an occasional smoothie, I put it in the category of, if I were a drinker, which I don't drink alcohol, but if I was, I would have an alcoholic beverage every once in a while. So now I've put the smoothies in that category. Instead of having it like one a day or multiple times a week, it's like every once in a while I have a smoothie because they do taste so good. I must admit. But yes, it's like a dessert, right? It's like drinking dessert, really. It's a natural sugars, but still. So water is obviously the best thing that you can drink. Do you have to be drinking water all day long? I mean, it's hard to drink water.
So it is advisable to at least drink 8 to 10 glasses of water in a day. But like our countries, tropical countries, we need to drink more than that. So something around 3 liters in a day should suffice. It is not that if you are drinking in the morning or evening, your water intake should be spaced. Like every 2-3 hours, you can look into if you're drinking a glass of water, you're going to make a pee, and your color of the urine should be light yellow or white. That means you're drinking enough water. If it is anything like deep yellow, that means you are not drinking enough water. So, but a few, I'll see the elderly male patients do have some prostate issues where we say them not to drink more water during the night time. Otherwise, they will get up to go for pee, and there is a risk of fall when you get up in the night. So we advise them not to drink more of the water, but there is no specific time that when we should drink water. It should be the whole day, and it should be more spaced rather than drinking a liter of water and then wait for 4-5 hours before you drink the next glass. I'll say every 2-3 hours, remember to drink 1 glass of water.
All right. So yeah, you were distorted again, but I think you basically said 8 to 10 glasses of water throughout the day, and basically just space it out. I don't think you have to be chugging water all day, because we've actually seen, I mean, it's rare and it's unusual, but we have seen instances where people drink excessive water and it actually caused their death. So because it depleted the body of all of the necessary, what would we call them? All the necessary nutrients that your body needs. If you are overhydrated, which apparently can happen, then that is that's a problem too. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but don't try to go drink like 4 gallons of water a day and think that you're doing yourself any good. And of course, Denny says never drink more than 1 liter in an hour. So sometimes we wait to drink water until we're already dehydrated, because thirst, I guess, is a sign of dehydration. So by the time that happens, then you start to overcompensate and you drink too much water because your body's craving the water. So you do have to watch that a little bit.
Hope you can hear me now.
Yeah, you're still coming in a little bit choppy there. So yeah. All right. El Rey says creatine blood tests are impacted by exercise, muscle mass, and also creatine supplements for bodybuilding. It's so interesting, El Rey, because I didn't know a whole lot about creatine, except one time I had to go. I wasn't feeling well and I was dizzy and throwing up. This was many, many years ago. And I went to the emergency room. This is way before Health City even existed. And I went to the emergency room and they took some blood tests. I had very elevated creatine levels. And they said to me, have you been working out at the gym? And I was like, I looked at the emergency room physician and said, do I look like I've been working out at the gym? I was like, come on, give me a break here. And I said, no. And he said, well, your creatine levels are high. So we're trying to ascertain why. And one of the things is people who like working out or they're taking creatine supplements. And then the other thing he said, Doc, which turned out to be what was going on with me, is excessive sun exposure. So he said that we also see high creatine levels in people like gardeners who work in the sun and stuff a lot. And it's like a sign of a heat stroke. And that's what I was having. I was actually having like a heat stroke.
Yeah, so there are studies where they see that workers on the field who have more kidney disease, it's because of more due to dehydration rather than having any other issues. You should not be having high creatine just because you're working out. It's only dependent on your muscle mass. But yes, dehydration is what happens to these people who walks on the field. So much humidity and high temperature. I think they're the one who needs to be reminded that every hour or two, take a break and have a glass of water. That's
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. So in the Caribbean, we love us a glass of coconut water. Is coconut water safe to drink daily, like one glass of it, and then mix, drink the rest regular water? Does coconut water help with kidney function? I mean, I do notice that whenever I drink coconut water, I do have to go to the bathroom a lot more often than even drinking regular water. So what is it that's in coconut water that kind of, makes you run to the bathroom versus drinking regular water?
So coconut water has high electrolytes, so that replenishes your electrolytes in the body. We do advise coconut water, especially because of the potassium, which is helpful in patients with hypertension. But if you ask me as a kidney doctor, patients who have been having a failed kidney, who are at the end stage of the kidney, they can remove these electrolytes from the body, but they would tell them not to take coconut water. So if you Google it, you will find why your doctor is asking you coconut water not to be taken. But for any normal person, anybody, even in initial stage of kidney disease, also allowed to have coconut water because they have a very good electrolytes, low sodium, high potassium, helps your hypertension. So it's a good idea as a supplement for like water. You can take coconut water.
Okay. So I know, again, he's kind of coming in choppy. So basically he said that unless you have advanced kidney disease, coconut water, even in the early stages, is good because it does have a lot of electrolytes, low sodium. And so it's certainly a much better alternative than drinking sodas or smoothies or anything else, to have a little glass of coconut water. So, so kidney transplants, Shamari, we've been talking about this for a very, very long time. Tell us from an administrative perspective, how much closer are we to having this be a reality for people here in the Cayman Islands?
So we're very close, Sandy, and the CMO is working on it. There is a transplant. I can't remember the exact name. Transplant committee that would have been appointed from a long time by the government, and they're working through the different protocols from a governmental perspective that would be needed for us to be licensed as a transplant unit, and then to start with the kidney transplant, which obviously, I say obviously, but throughout the Caribbean, there are a lot of individuals that are on dialysis and otherwise would have a familiar donor. So, a brother, a sister, a mother, father that would be willing to give of their kidney to their loved one. So it's a live donor transplant. And that's really what we would start with. And Dr. Admit is here. He's ready. He's waiting. We have everything set up from a facility perspective. And I know that the government is working on it and soon come. So hopefully in short order, we'll be able to definitely start that program as well, knowing all of the benefits that come with it from, yes, you get a longer life, but the actual quality of your life through having that transplant is so much better than obviously ongoing dialysis for the rest of your life, where you have to go in frequently to go through that process as well.
Right. So kidney transplants, if and when available, would negate the need for someone to do dialysis. So if someone is a diabetic and they're doing dialysis for that, if they're able to get a new kidney, doc, that means that they wouldn't have to do dialysis anymore?
Yeah. Sorry, am I clear?
You're still choppy, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Are you able to remove the headbuds and just speak into the
Yeah,
into the computer itself.
Directly to the computer. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's an internet issue. I'm not sure then. So is that the case? Like people who are in dialysis, if they had a properly functioning kidney, they wouldn't have to do dialysis at all?
Yeah. So once we go for transplant, yes, you are off dialysis, will be on medication. But I like to remind people that transplant is just not a cure. It is just to make you off from dialysis. It's better living style that it gives you. You still have a kidney disease, you still need medications, and transplant patients still need to have a follow-up. It gives you a better life, longer life, but it is not something called cure.
Yeah.
So definitely, you are on dialysis. It is never a first choice of treatment. Transplant is the first choice of treatment. Unfortunately, we in the having a lot of kidney disease issues doesn't have a transplant as of now. We have to come from this island to states or some other place to get it done. I hope as long as soon as it gets approved, we have everything in place. We can go ahead and we'll give more much better care to our people here on the island.
Yeah. So, folks, the doctors basically said that a kidney transplant is not a cure. It will just help you come off of dialysis, and you will, tend to feel better and live longer. You still have to do follow-up in their medications that you will have to take in order to ensure that that new kidney is working optimally. Kidney transplants are often done to treat kidney failure, chronic kidney disease, and end-stage renal disease as well. So once this becomes available, it has the option of definitely saving a lot of people from having to go through dialysis, which is a very, very difficult procedure. And some people have to do it multiple times per week. And family members, a lot of family members are waiting to be able to donate their kidney, to donate a kidney to their loved ones. So Tartarian says the best water to drink is rainwater. Catch it and store it when it rains. I don't know about that, Tartarian, because rainwater might have a lot of chemicals in it that you're not really aware of. Remember, we don't live in the healthiest places in the world anymore. So there are things in the atmosphere, even with rainwater. So you might want to make sure that you're getting properly filtered water that has been treated at the very least. Because yes, rainwater runs off of different things. If it's running off of a gutter, for example, and that's how you're catching it, that gutter could be filled with all sorts of stuff that would not be healthy for you. So I would caution you when it comes to just drinking rainwater just like that. Damien says, so other natural juices like carrot, beet, ginger, green juices with no sugar. So they're better, I suppose, than the ones with sugar. But Damien, eat your food, don't drink your food. So what is the benefit of drinking carrot juice, beet juice, and ginger juice? You need the fiber, you need the, the things that keep you full even, because drinking a beverage doesn't tend to satiate you in the way that actually eating your food does. So you want to eat your vegetables, not drink your vegetables. And let's be honest, most of us, if we're going to have carrot, beet, apple, whatever, we need a little sugar in there, even if it's a natural sugar, to try to make it taste good, So we're adding other substances to it as well that tend to not be as healthy as you might think. Supermax, good morning. Good morning to Miss Joyce Ann. Damien says when it runs off of the roof into the gutter, yeah, that's not healthy for you. So I would caution you with trying to do that as a solution. This person says, once a transplant patient, you'll be on Prograft. Good morning. So I'm assuming that is a drug that you have to take once you have a transplant. Someone says, never drink more than 1 liter per, yes. Ask him which blood sugar medicines are diuretics and how do they affect the kidney? I think they normally add a diuretic to it, right? Because I take a low dose, 5 milligrams of amlodipine, but then that particular one causes the lower extremities sometimes to retain water. So I think recently Dr. Sanjeet added some diuretic to it.
Yeah. So most of the patients, blood pressure patients, so first drug that we give is like something called saints with Saturn, like Losartan, Clinicet, but always we try to add a diuretic, so that helps in balancing the water in the body, that helps in taking out extra salt in the body. That is more important to maintain your blood pressure. So two drugs usually helps to keep the dose low and helps in getting a good blood pressure. And diuretic is one drug that has to be part of every blood pressure medication.
All right, thank you so much. So, Shamari, let's talk about March also being Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and of course, last week we were learning quite a bit about colon cancer and the necessity really to try to screen as early as possible. So, to encourage early screening. Health City has every month all these amazing promotions. And for the month of March, you still got a couple weeks, folks, to make sure that you go ahead and book your appointment and get signed up. You don't have to go to the appointment in March, but you have to book it in March. So let's talk now, Shamari, about the Mind the Gap promotion.
No, definitely. And as we would have heard last week, we want to make sure that as many persons who meet the criteria get their colonoscopy. Just because, as we keep mentioning, obviously prevention is the best, but catching things early always works better for your longevity of life as well as your quality of life if you're able to get it treated. So we have an actual consultation, and through the consultation, we will be able to determine whether or not insurance would be able to cover it. But if insurance isn't going to cover it, we actually have a special that's US $2,000, and you will also get everything included as well as the follow-up consultation if needed. Appointments, as you mentioned, need to be done in March, but the actual process and the procedure can happen during April. So you don't have to rush and get it done in March, but you need to book it in March is what we're stating at this point in time. And just to mention that our promotion of the two gentlemen, speaking about the ease of what actually happened, has been doing wonders. Because people have been saying, "Oh, I didn't realize that you have a sedative, and the fact that it's easy." And the worst part they said is what you have to do prior in order to purge. But apart from that, everything is easy. And then once you're aware, you're good for 10 years. So get it done, make sure you're good, and you have 10 years, unless there are other issues that present that you would need to have another colonoscopy again. So definitely want to make sure as many people go in. I know it's for both males and females, but females seem to be a little bit better because they typically go to the doctor more often. It's us males that may not even have a regular physician that we would go to see. So get your executive health checks, but definitely, if you meet the criteria, come and get your colonoscopy as well.
All right, fantastic. So again, several things going on in the month of March, colon cancer awareness, and then of course the special, make sure you check that out. And now kidney as well, kidney health. Do you need a referral, says Jerry, to book a colonoscopy? So no, Jerry, this is something that is recommended by all physicians, and the recommended age for early screening went from 50 down to 45 because there's now a higher instance of younger people actually getting colon cancer. So go out there and get tested. Very, very important that you do so.
And also to mention, Sandy, there's Catwalk for Cancer that's happening next week.
Yes.
So it's Wednesday, the 20th of March. It's going to be on the Paseo at Camana Bay, where it usually is, $75. And you can get your tickets from the Cancer Society, San Angels, AME, and all proceeds go to the Cancer Society. So it's usually very well attended, worthwhile charity. And there we go. And Catwalk for Cancer, presented by Health City and San Angels, with all proceeds going to Kiminal's Cancer Society.
Yeah, this is
so limited availability. So get your tickets. as soon as possible. Yes, next week Wednesday.
Wonderful. So, Health City supports a number of community events and charities throughout the year, Shamari. So tell us why it's so important for Health City to be an active member of our community in this regard.
No, definitely, and there's so many different charities across the board that help in various areas, and I know the Cancer Society has done such a great job in regard to screening for breast cancer and other cancers as well, and they fill a gap over the years, and there are many ladies that would actually reach the Cancer Society based on different scenarios. And through the Cancer Society and through the mammogram vouchers and the such that the Cancer Society has, they've been able to definitely help a lot of people on island. At times, person's insurance may run out, and the Cancer Society has been able to help patients navigate and to get the treatment that they need. So Cancer Society has done a great job over many, many years getting, screening to a point where we have very good screening on island and people have access. And we just always look to support charitable organizations that are doing the right things. And this is one. And we support from a medical perspective, but then outside of that, obviously children in need, elderly, we also help in those areas just because it's the right thing to do as a community partner here in the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Shamari. Thank you, Dr. Amit, for joining the program today. Certainly was very, very informative segment as always, but we have learned quite a bit. So, I'm told that the date is wrong. Oh, okay. So we'll post it on social media. We'll get that corrected here and just post it on social media. No worries. All right. So we'll just double check it for you guys to make sure. It's
next
Thursday,
March
20th, not Wednesday, March the 20th. All right. March the 20th, just the wrong day. So March the 20th is actually Thursday, not Wednesday. So a week from today. We got it.
Yeah.
All right. So a week from today being Thursday, March the 20th. Fantastic. Thank you, Arthur, for watching, and everybody else. We got 269 plus people over on Instagram. So Shamari and Dr. Amit, thank you so much. Both of you have been extremely informative today.
Yep. And if anybody ever thinks they need Dr. Amit's services, 640-4040, or you can book it on the website or the Health City Connect app, or if you prefer to just email us, info@healthcity.ky, and you'll be able to get through to Dr. Amit.
All right. Wonderful. Have a great day, guys.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. All right, fantastic. So we got a lot of ground to cover. Again, if you have any questions or you need to see a physician about your kidney health, I always tell people, start off by going and getting the physical, because that'll give you a basic idea of where you are, generally speaking, with your health, which is very, very important. The executive health checkups. I now make sure that I get mine in on an annual basis because, honey child, when you get to a particular age, you need to know your numbers and you need to know how your numbers are actually moving from year to year. So that is also extremely important as well. Fantastico. All right, so we do have a lot of events coming up on the political side. So, of course, I do want to encourage all of you to stay abreast of meetings, who's going where and when and all that good sort of stuff. We will be keeping you updated. So let's have a few announcements now from some candidates. First, we're going to start with Ms. Romelia.
Good day. My name is Romelia Welcome, candidate for Georgetown North. We are here today to show proof of things that have gotten done in our community of Georgetown North with Mr. James Forbes. Mr. Forbes reported to me that he was having issues with his roof. I called in act of random kindness and they did an awesome job for him.
Here am I, Mr. Forbes. I have reached out to Ms. Romelia. Welcome. and she had did a lot of work for me, like fix my whole entire roof, tear up positions in my house to do them over, and everything that she had did was up to date, and I could appreciate whatever she's doing, and I will be grateful that she will be represented north of Georgetown.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, honey child. Miss Amelia is on the campaign trail for Georgetown North. Take that. And I think most people know that Miss Amelia is actually very, very active in her community, and she does a lot. She works with beautification projects. She was the one going around having the little sidewalk trims and the islands and stuff painted. She does, works with the seniors. She's always planning seniors trips and taking them out on activities and doing things with them every single week. And in fact, next week, Mr. Amelia, next week, Thursday, we'll be doing our monthly donation here from CMR, where we will actually cook a meal for the seniors. Last time they had a nice fish and chicken and 2 rice and sides and all sorts of stuff. I'm thinking this time, maybe we'll do some lasagna and fish, because we like to do like a fish dish of some sort. Man, that fish last time was delicious. But maybe we'll do something like a lasagna, something different. It doesn't always have to be Caribbean food. We like to give them options. Of course, they always get a nice salad and different things as well. But check out Miss Amelia. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Yes, sir.
As usual, you always got some interesting articles.
Yes, thank you.
I was so impressed with Camana Bay, Health City. I went there to see my cousin, Ernest Scott. And when I walked in there, I did not even feel like I was in a hospital. I felt like I was in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And the rooms are so spacious. And where Ernest is at, there's a huge double window. And you can see the trees and you can see the cars. It is phenomenal, the job that they did there. So I take my hat off to them for giving that feeling. You don't even feel like you're in a hospital when you go in there.
Nice. Beautiful. Thank you so much,
Sunday.
my darling. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Yes, it's beautiful, beautiful facility indeed. So interesting. We have Alric Lindsay, who's going to be having a meeting this evening. If you're in the Georgetown South area or South Sound, make sure that you check this one out. All right. So coming up next, give me 1 second here, is Mr. Alric.
Hey everyone, this is Alric Lindsay, your candidate for Georgetown South. Join me for a meeting on Thursday, March 13th, starting at 7 p.m. at the South Sound Community Center. Let's talk about planned developments in the South Sound Basin, crime, traffic, and other matters. See you there.
All right. And of course, Ralston having his big rally debut this Saturday. So mark your calendars for this as well.
Hello, this is Ralston Anglin, inviting you to my campaign launch rally on Saturday, March 15th at 6:30 p.m. at the Cayman Turtle Center's parking lot. Come out and join me for an evening of testimonials, plans for our future, light refreshment, and local entertainment. Remember, on April 30th, vote number 1, Ralston Raleigh Anglin for West Bay North.
Okay. And Mr. Wayne Panton is having a meeting this evening. Number 32 Moonbeam Drive in Newlands, 7 p.m. So there are multiple meetings. I know somebody just said, oh my gosh, they're all having them at the same time. Well, I mean, now time is of the essence. So everyone is definitely squeezing in their respective meetings for sure. Let me try to remember who else has a meeting this evening. March the 15th, Bankers Road Yard meeting. That's Kathy Wilkes. And let me just see who else we got here. Is Ozzy having a meeting this evening? I'm trying to remember. They're just all, yes, there's lots of meetings. So make sure that you pay attention to the ones that are happening in your respective areas for sure. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning, Sandy. I just tuned in, and I just want to make a real quick comment. The other day, I tuned on the radio, and I heard a replay, or maybe it was a live play of this. Is it the student parliament or the young people that?
Oh yeah, we've been playing clips of their contributions. So yes.
I mean, terribly impressive, and I think that's important. These kids were bright, they were sharp. Frankly, a few of them would have my vote, although I don't know much about their beliefs. But I'll tell you one thing:
they were well presented
and well trained. However, very impressive, and I think it's a valuable thing. I'm glad that kids are getting involved in that. But I'll tell you what was completely evident to me is they've been listening and studying Parliament, because some of them were insulting, arrogant, laughing. I mean, they reflected the level of maturity exactly that they've learned from observing Parliament. And I wish all of our parliamentarians would mature and take things seriously. They shouldn't be poking fun at each other. They shouldn't be insulting each other and heckling. I know that happens in the UK as well, but
and did you, caller, I'm curious as to whether or not you heard recently the one with Mr. Chris Saunders, which we feature in this program, where he actually made threats in Parliament and nobody said anything to him. The Speaker of the House did not ask him to retract or apologize. It was just allowed to go unresponded. And I was flabbergasted, quite frankly.
Yes, I did hear that. And it was
very sad.
Completely inappropriate and unprofessional and immature. And were I in his voting district, that alone would have lost my vote.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate it. 936 folks 2626 Bobo 103.1 now is the frequency that you can certainly tune in. And I agree. The kids are not taking it as seriously. Obviously, they're all friends and stuff like that. But you wonder where they, as he rightfully said, where are they getting that behavior from? Obviously, they must have sat down and watched a few parliamentary segments and saw that this happens in Parliament. And so they figure, oh, this is how Parliament works. And this is how, we should replicate that behavior. Adults, we have to remember, yes, we're not flawless. We're human beings, but our children are always watching Honey Child. Listen, my daughter was reminding me a couple of days ago. She's like, Mom, I heard you one time say a bad word. Now, I don't think it was like that bad, but it doesn't matter. In her mind, she knows it's not a good word. And she said, I heard you and I can't repeat it. So I don't even know which one it was, but she's like, I can't repeat it. Sometimes we think they're not listening, folks. They're listening, they're watching, and they're making observations. She's like, I can't repeat it. And I apologize. I said, Mom, sorry. I'm not supposed to be using bad words anywhere that you can certainly hear them at all. And she's like, okay, I'll accept your apology. She's so sweet. So yes, they're watching our behavior. They're certainly listening to our words and act accordingly. So you want your children to be loving, kids that communicate well, understand conflict resolution, then you have to demonstrate that in your own lives. If they grow up in a household that's full of conflict and everybody's beating each other up and, adults are cursing and fighting and carrying on, that's what they're going to know. And that is what ultimately they're going to emulate as well. So live by example. And of course, nobody's perfect. And so I tell her, oh gosh, Mom's only human. So sometimes I screw up and that's when I have to say that I'm sorry. And she's so sweet. She's always willing to accept an apology. She's like, that's okay. I forgive you. I understand. I'm like, oh, can I get a hug? And we bring it in and we hug it out. But yes, they are, to that caller's point, they're definitely, as they get older, into the teen years, they're on high alert with what your behavior is saying, and it says volumes. Right. Beautiful. All right. So good stuff. Civility is endangered behavior anymore, says this person. So yes, indeed. So Aussie's meeting, my apologies, is this evening, the 13th of March. Yes, Thursday at number 60 Will T Road there in Lower Valley. Is it Will T Drive or Will T Road? But you know what? The other day I noticed that the road was, I had to deliver one of the dash cams, by the way, on Will T, and I almost passed it because the road sign is down. So I reached out to NRA and I said, hey, I just want to let you know that your road sign is down. And thank goodness I had my little GPS on in the car and it knew that that was Will T, which was where I was trying to turn. So hopefully NRA will get that back up fairly quickly. Miss Pat says it's learned behavior. Absolutely correct. Elmer says that's the problem. Too much bad words at home. Well, I wish I could tell you that's a problem. The problem expands way beyond bad words, honey child. The problem is bad behavior. A lot of children are being exposed to all sorts of bad behavior, from abuse amongst adults and children, and beating each other up and all sorts of stuff. So it's unfortunate what some of our young children are being exposed to. Damon says, have you ever watched C-SPAN in the U.S. Congress or interrogations? Listen, yes. I mean, I think that we know that they go on away. You know, even in sometimes you see it like in Hong Kong and different places around the world, they're throwing shoes at each other. You know, they're going on the most, but that's still not... only politicians can get away with that kind of disgusting behavior, because in the corporate world, you probably would get fired. Young Mr. Jaron, who is Speaker of the House for the Youth Parliament, is here watching. So I do have the transcripts as well as the video from the Youth Parliament. And so we're actually going to share it and air it on our CMR channel. So you guys can definitely tune in. So listen, I want to remind the people of the Cayman Islands that the Chamber of Commerce is having their debates, and those debates actually start this evening. So this now is where we get into a little bit of difficulty with the live streaming, because only recently, honey child, have we discovered that we can't live stream more than one event at a time on Facebook anymore. We used to be able to do up to 5 events. And good luck trying to reach out to Facebook, because we've actually not known this because of any thing that Facebook has told us, because Facebook does not communicate very well. We certainly don't know this, but we know it from experience. So we noticed this weekend that we were live streaming one event and the other event kept giving an error message. And the same thing had happened actually the weekend before. And we were kind of wondering if this was the case. Then I started testing it, and turns out we're no longer able to live stream multiple events because Facebook hasn't made an announcement about this. We don't know if this is a glitch in the matrix, you know, or if they have actually done something about it, if they've actually had a change in policy. We just don't know. So this is, this is pretty crazy. We're trying to find out, even some of the streaming experts, we've reached out to them. And unfortunately, they also have not been able to answer the question. They just don't know. They're like, we don't know. So we'll continue to try to reach out to Facebook. Trying to reach anybody at Facebook is shockingly difficult. Let me just put it that way. One time I got as far as email communication with Facebook support. And then, they were like, oh yeah, we'll call. And heaven forbid you miss that call. They'll never call you back again. Like, it's impossible to get them to ever call back again. Extremely frustrating. Trust me. Extremely frustrating. Anywho, so what that means for us is that we're going to have to record certain events and then play them later. But at this particular time, the chamber event will take precedent over anything else. So, we will continue to see how to do that. Yeah, so we'll air the chamber event, the chamber candidate forums, And then any meetings that you have, we'll try to basically we'll have to record them and play them at a different time. So candidates, this is why I have been suggesting from way last year that, you guys try to get on it and try to really plan way in advance, have these meetings a long time ago. But unfortunately, everybody kind of just waited until the last minute. Yeah. So there you have it. Still trying to figure out how to. Somebody said the Will T Drive thing still isn't back. So yeah, I don't know how to reach anybody at Facebook. It just doesn't work. Seriously. They don't have a number. They don't really have an email address. You submit something and then you hope that somebody reads it. Anyway, so thank you for the reminder. Let's do a few birthday shout outs while we're at it. We do have Miss Marva Reed, who is having a birthday today. So big shout out. Let me just grab a little picture of the beautiful Miss Marva. She is celebrating her birthday. Now, Miss Marva is always traveling all over the world. And I don't know if she's traveling for her birthday, but I'll have to check in with her and see. She's got a new grandbaby too. So big shout out to her grandbaby, who she's spending a lot of time with. So happy birthday to Miss Marva Bodden Reed, who is no doubt enjoying her special day. So we wish her all the best. Let me see who else has, and she was the MC. She did a great job on Saturday, I must say. She was actually the MC at the TCCP event, and she did a phenomenal job. I think she could be a professional MC, if you ask me. So, oh, look, we have a birthday picture of her from back in 2020 when she turned 50. So that means that this year she's 55. Good for you, girl. Looking good, looking good. Why not? There is Miss Marva. She calls into the program all the time. You guys will probably recognize her voice. Fresh Joe, good morning. Damien says, check Elon. He knows everything about us now. Oh, Lord have mercy. Shout out, yes, to Miss Marva, her birthday. And I saw somebody else here with birthday greetings. Let me just scroll back up and see. Miss Alida, or is it Alida? Barden says, good morning, Sandy and the CMR family. Sandy, can you send a big birthday wish to my husband, Jesse, from his wife, children, and grandkids? And Jesse is 54 years old today. Thanks, Sandy. May you have a blessed day. So Jesse, happy birthday. Wishing you all the best on your special day as well. Mellow Fellow says, good morning, CMR. Do you know why TCCP hasn't erected more street signs like the other groups? Do you know if they intend to do more going forward? It looks like to me that they have been, and I don't really know the answer to this. I can certainly ask them. But it looks like to me that they've been using more of like the electronic signs, which means that they can multi-purpose that and rotate the different candidates. I mean, on the one hand, maybe that's less street signs all over the place because we know what that looks like during election time. It's pretty crazy. But yes, they have erected some. And I also have made the observation that some people are going super big, like they're enlarging it like it's crazy. And my observation is that TCCP isn't going overboard with the sign of the signage. So maybe they're thinking less is better. And maybe they also recognize that the size of your sign or how many you have up does not dictate the quality of where you stand at anything, nor does it mean that people are going to necessarily vote for you just because you have more signs up. I'm curious for you guys. By the way, we'll spend some time today going through the polls because some of you have not yet voted. But how many of you are impacted by street signs? Does that make a difference to you? Like when you see a street sign, is it having a subtle psychological impact in who you vote for? Yeah. So interesting. Yep. Business page. I have not found any documentation that says this feature should have changed. Okay. So let's try that and see how far we get with Facebook. I doubt we're going to get far at all. All right. By the way, you know these fake accounts, Facebook, there was one that was circulating where they were trying to scam you out of your money, telling you that, oh, you know, you can buy this card to travel in the bus system. And some people are actually being fooled by it. We don't have that system here. So by all means, please don't do that. And I reported that page as a page that was scamming people. And I reported the ad and everything. Facebook replied and said they didn't do anything about the page or the ad. Like they're not going to take it down. I'm like, okay, whatever. Clearly, scammers don't go against their community standards, right? Sometimes what happens with Facebook is completely illogical. I mean, yeah, don't understand it. Not at all. Yep. There was one time when I got to reach out to Facebook. I was actually able to message them. But again, it's very, very difficult to get like a live person. A lot of times you're talking to a bot or some computer generated thing. It's not actually a live person at all. But we do try to reach out to them, say, hey, honey chill, we're having a problem. All right, so let's look at tomorrow is going to be a very busy day. So make sure you tune in early tomorrow. We've got a couple people on, but let's have a look at some of the polls. So I want you guys to participate in the polls. So this morning, I'm actually going to be putting the polls up on the screen for everyone. We'll look at some poll results. Some of the results I know, and I don't know how they're skewing a particular district, but there is one district that I know somehow they're sort of messing with it on purpose. I think they're going in and voting for like the person who's going to come in dead last. Like he's not even going to get 10%, but they're going in and voting for him, trying to throw that one off, which I think is very interesting. So there will be some that I know for a fact the results on the polls will not accurately reflect what is happening in the real world. And I know that because I actually have my ears down to the ground. Like I talk to people, so I'm very, very cognizant of what is happening. So this listener to the program made the observation that regarding the size of the TCCP signs, this is one time size doesn't matter. There's a lot of times that size doesn't matter. Trust me. All right. We're looking for Rachel Marie Manderson. She lives in Bodden Town. Honey Cha, your Kate Spade wallet and your driver's license has been found. Rachel Marie Anderson, your wallet and driver's license has been found. So please call us so that we can get you your wallet back. Rachel Marie Anderson. Okay. Call us. Somebody found your wallet, honey child. All right. Yes. All right. So let me see. Anthony says TCCP's environmental parties save trees, no lumber, no signs. Yeah, I mean, they're doing some, but they're not doing it in excess. And I have noticed that, in fact, they have been utilizing a lot of those electronic signs where they can change and show you the different candidates and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, environmentally friendly. Good morning, K-Man 49er says, oh, I didn't realize that was you, until you mentioned your wife's name. K-Man, he says, good morning, Sandy. Please send my lovely wife, Delcy, a happy Earth Strong Day, aging like fine wine. Thank you, Sandy. Oh, yes, you are most welcome. Miss Delcy, happy birthday. Tartarian says, signs are a waste of money for a small island like Cayman. If you don't get the message, you must be living in a hole. Signs don't sway me. That money only fills up bank accounts of the sign companies. What a hot mess. So that person says they are not swayed by signs. All right. So if anybody knows Miss Rachel Marie Manderson, please ask her to give us a call because we can reunite her with her wallet and her driver's license. Beautiful. All right. I love it when you guys are honest. So Damien says, yes, remember TCCP is runs for the environment. Well, I don't know if they run for the environment, but they're certainly probably the group that is most concerned about the environment indeed. Okay, very, very good. Let me just see here now. I am looking for, right. All right, so someone has been asking me, someone's been asking me to block more than one person actually, has been asking me to block someone on, let me just see here, to block someone on Facebook. They have come very close to being blocked. And I noticed that they like to troll a lot here in the comment section with certain political candidates. In fact, it's interesting to make the observation that certain political candidates, anytime they're on, you see all these fake accounts and stuff that are being created. I want to caution you, if you want to participate in this platform, that's not the way to do it because we will block you. And once we block you, there's no coming back from being blocked. We don't really give second chances, honey child. Once we block you, that's it. Sayonara. Goodbye. You know. Proceed with caution, I guess. Damien, you're spot on. You know exactly who I'm talking about. One time, this person said something extremely offensive to me, and this shows you the kind of patience that I have. That a lot of times you guys don't always know that I'm exercising. And they commented on one post about the dash cam, and were extremely, extremely rude. And they're lucky that they have not yet been blocked because of that comment. But I suspect it's only going to be a matter of time in any event. So just giving you the heads up. When you get blocked, don't be messaging me about what happened to the page. Just stay blocked and stay in your lane. Okay, honey child, that's where it's at. Right, so we're going to do some polls. So let's go to some of our poll questions. Now it's up on the page for every single candidate. So get your cameras ready to start scanning the barcodes. And then we're going to go through all of them. All right, so we're going to go through every single poll question. I'm going to post it up on the screen for you to scan. And we will start with, let me see, QR codes here. Okay, so first question that we're putting up on the screen. Happy birthday, Miss Marva. First question that we're putting up on the screen. This one is who? Okay, hold on. Oh, let me get the question. Hold on. All right. So the question here is in relation to the premiere. So this is the premiere question. And basically it says who should be the next premier of the Cayman Islands. So let me go ahead and show you the QR code. And for those of you who don't know how to use a QR code, basically you just hold your phone up to it and you scan it with your phone camera. I think Android devices are a little bit different. You need a third-party app or something. But with iPhone, if you just scan it, you'll see a little yellow box comes up and you click on that and that'll take you to the voting poll. And I'll also in the chat section here, give you the links to these as well. So go ahead and scan that QR code and vote. And I'll post the link here also. All right. So encouraging all of you to vote. Yep, I see the numbers going up on the vote on the back end. Fantastic. There now is the QR code for that question. We're going to go through every single constituency. In fact, hold on a second. Let me do it this way. There's another way for me to do it. It's going to take time though, because I have to load them up, the images one by one. All right, hold on one second. I got to find the folder with it, voting polls. All right, so here we go. We have the premier question. So this way you can see the question and stuff as well. So there's that one. Who should be the next premier of the Cayman Islands? Your options are Andre Ebanks, TCCP, Dan Scott, CINP, Joey Hugh, PPM, Juliana O'Connor Conley, PPM, or other. So far, the results, interesting, over 57%, rounded up to 58%, are saying Andre Ebanks. Dan Scott comes in at 16.67%, Joey Hugh at 14.7%, other at 6.25%, Juliana O'Connor Conley with only 4.4%. So keep voting, folks. Keep voting. So those are the poll results so far. And I see you guys are voting because I see the numbers adjusting in real time. So Andre seems to be extremely popular as it relates to who should be the next premier of the Cayman Islands. So incredibly interesting. Yes, honey child, very interesting. All right, so those are your poll results for that particular question. So keep voting. QR code, the link, strawpoll.com/premier. If you don't know how to use the QR system. All right, so again, results highly favorable and continuing to grow. Look at that, 58.95% now in favor of Mr. Andre Ebanks. So keep voting. We're going to leave these polls open until the 31st, and then into the month of April, we will reset the polls as well. So questions coming in. One question, it says, good morning. I have a few calls this morning, so I won't be able to watch the show until later in the day, but I have a quick question. Is CNP aligning with PPM? I'm asking because I saw CNP's campaign manager on PPM stage last night. And I said, who is CINP's campaign manager? And they said, Heyman's campaign manager is Vincent Frederick, and he was on the PPM stage. So I don't know is the short answer. And I don't know if this is a CINP thing or if this is just Heyman Rankin. It seems to me that although some of these parties claim that they're a party, the candidates are pretty much doing their own thing. And so that might be the case here with Heyman Rankin, is that he's just doing his own thing. And he had Vincent up on his stage. Anybody that has Vincent on stage, no shade to Vincent. I really don't mean this in any way, Vincent. Don't take it any way personal. But I would say that anyone who's put Vincent on their stage, well, okay then. I suppose that says a lot about you. And that's all I'm going to say. Another person says, morning, Sandra. Why would PPM take on Juliana when she's a Spanish machete? She's shown no loyalty to any party. Also, can you send me the link to the survey you have up on the screen? So every question has a different link. What we did to try to make your lives somewhat easier is we actually put the what do you call it? We put the the scans and stuff, the question that you see up on the screen, we did put those on in a story, so you can go to the story and do it that way. And we're also going to share them on social media as well. In the story, they're clickable, so that makes life a little bit easier. All right, let's move on to the next poll. So that one is for Premier. Again, the numbers are increases. Now it's at 59.93% for Andre Ebanks. John had a meeting last night, and of course, no surprise that he continues to make it about personality and not any of the issues that the country really, really cares about. And so I am really hoping that the people in his constituency will finally make the relevant change that they need to make. This man is beyond ridiculous. Okay. All right. There's also a question there about the parties. So which party do you support? So let me bring that up. Let me just see. That was an older one, but it's still live. It's still live. Let me just see where it is. 1 second for me. It's still live question. So the question is, who is your preferred party? So you have the Cayman Community Party, the Cayman Islands National Party, or the Progressives. Let me just see party. Yep, here we go. So this is the party one now that you can vote. And please go ahead and put your results in. Who is your preferred party? Scan the QR code. And if you want the link, let me just get you the link as well. In fact, I'm going to send out all of the links now to the channel. So sending all the links in the channel so that people can vote. If you're in the channel, then you will get all of those. So there you go. All right, so vote. Certainly gives us an interesting idea. Good morning. All right, so I'm sending all of the poll links this morning. And again, we will reset everything in April as we get closer to Election Day. All right, closer to Election Day, April the 30th. All right, so go ahead and vote in that one. I'll put this, the link in the chat segment here as well. Well, independents are not a party, Damien. So, I mean, if you don't vote for any of them, then, you know, this is a party question. So if you have a preference, who's your preferred party to form a government? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. And some of these have very, very interesting results in that the number of people voting in them says a lot about the interests in that particular area. So for example, West Bay North has a very interesting and active number of people voting in that poll. So here's West Bay North. So who will you vote for in West Bay North? Of course, we can't limit this to just people who vote in West Bay North. So, you know, it's more of like a national poll, but we've got Anglin, Ralston Anglin, Shakina Bush, Jermaine Hurlston, and Jordan Rivers. So far, Ralston Anglin is in the lead with 55.69% of those participating in the survey saying that they would vote for Ralston. So continue to vote, put your numbers in there. And we ask you to, you know, don't mess with the polls, folks. Try to vote honestly if you can. And funny enough, I think that people are Just doing the most. All right. Okay, so wishing you a terrific Thursday. Will you be covering the chamber debate? Yes, we will have it live. All right, so there is West Bay North. Scan and vote. So remember, if you're in a household where you have one shared Wi-Fi, it's going to block you after one person has voted. So what you want to do is you want to come off of the Wi-Fi and go on the regular network. Okay. All right. So let's move on from West Bay North. Next, we have West Bay West. Oh, sorry. That was a sneeze. Where we have Julie, Joy, Teresa Hunter, and McKeeva Bush. So West Bay West. Let me just pull West Bay West up on the screen. 1 second here. So West Bay West, West Bay West, West Bay West. Here we go. This is the QR code for West Bay West. Please scan or put in the link that you see there. And Irvlin says, I'm trying to vote, but the polls tell me I've already voted, and I haven't. This is the second time. So that means that if you're on a Wi-Fi network, someone else on that network has voted. So to try to keep people honest, honey child, we've had to do this because people just wouldn't be honest. They'd be double voting. So we are blocking it by IP address. So what you have to do, my darling, is you have to come off of your Wi-Fi network. All right. Good morning, caller. 69% saying that they would vote for Julie, Teresa Hunter over McKeeva Bush. Morning. How you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Sandy.
Morning.
The class is in?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Class is in session, and we're all doing the online polls. Just walking through that.
The subject is the cold hard truth?
It's always the cold hard truth.
Well, I think I'm in the right place.
All right. Good. Tell me what's on your mind.
I just want to express some opinion here about concerning what the character that OC called Geraldine and Mr. McKeeva Bush.
Okay.
I think between the two of them, right? Where we are now. The two of them, we can thank the two of them. They put them in a class in their room because between the Stardust Grant and the one man, one vote business there, that put us on the road to hell. So now, I can give you a little illustration, right? This morning, Mr. Philippi Banks, he was on the radio, came on something. He was to the public, and he greeted. His first words to the Cayman people was, "What do you think it was? Not good morning, Cayman." Now he is living and running in Red Bay, right?
Yes, sir.
But what he says, "Good morning, good people of Red Bay." So what he's saying, to hell with the rest of Cayman, you know.
Oh, Lord.
This Red Bay business is all he interested in.
Oh,
right?
boy.
So what I tell you, that move by Sir Aldin, broke Cayman in little pieces. Right? So the two of them playing politics, caught Aldin on one side and McKeeva on the other, and Cayman in the middle.
But remember now, to be fair, the people went to the polls and they voted for that constitutional change.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that is, you never miss your water till you well run dry.
Well, I guess they didn't know how it would work. They didn't understand how it would work, but they had all sorts of indications. So I don't know if you can blame Alden for that. You know, the people needed to educate themselves, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Of course.
Because this demonstrates that when we're talking about changes, constitutional changes, boundary commission changes, anything in this country, people need to pay attention. They really need to pay attention.
What the people got to do is take the power.
Yeah.
And try to annul them things.
But you know what? I would encourage anyone who's listening, obviously the candidates, that they really focus on, yes, they're running for a particular constituency, but you're going to be representing all of the Cayman Islands. So I'm bothered by people who just hyper focus on, oh, I'm just running in Georgetown Central, West Bay North, or whatever. You're going to represent, you're one of 19 representatives that have to represent all of our interests collectively. Yes, you're going to get elected for a specific constituency, but stop thinking small-minded, right? We need people with bigger minds. But thank you so much for that, caller. Appreciate it.
But wait, Sandy, could I just give you an illustration of what, where we are now, right? This is a little illustration. The Caymanian was on his way to get into heaven, right? But you know, heaven and hell is close together. Just like genius and madness. Right?
Yes.
Right and wrong, right next door. So it's heaven and hell. So when he got to St. Peter, he said, St. Peter, I come to go into heaven. So St. Peter said, well, let me check the books. So he went through the book twice, double check. He said, sorry, sir, but you only him not on the heaven on the heaven side. So the same time, God showed up. He said, what the problem is here? And Peter said, well, this guy want to get to heaven, but he need not in the book. He said, well, I tell you what, where are you from, son? The Cayman say I'm from Cayman. He said, St. Peter, let him in the heaven. God can't put that poor fellow through hell twice.
Thank you, caller.
All right, good.
Have a good one.
Okay, thanks.
All right, folks, we're up to West Bay Central. So go ahead and scan your code. This is Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes and Jewel Hides. So far, this poll shows Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes in the lead with 60.33% of the votes. Dacia says, good morning, Sandra. I don't think the one man, one vote was passed in a referendum. What was passed in the referendum was the constitutional changes, which we accepted. And part of that constitutional change was the one man, one vote. So single member constituencies was effectively introduced in the Cayman Islands on October 19, 2015, when the Legislative Assembly approved the Electoral Boundary Commission's recommendations. This reform marked a fundamental change in the territory's general election voting system since the adoption of the 1959 Constitution. The first election using the one man, one vote system occurred in 2017. The Legislative Assembly approved the recommendations of the Electoral Boundary Commission on October the 19th, 2015 to implement single member voting districts. The concept was implemented in the form of 19 single member voting constituencies or districts, adding one more elected seat to the Assembly membership. This closed the chapter of approximately 185 years of block voting in multi-member constituencies, including a system that many believed was a system that many believe was more equitable and better suited to the country's growing voting population. So a referendum in July 2012, so this is what we're talking about now when you say it wasn't done by referendum, it was. A referendum in July of 2012 favored one man, one vote, but it failed to achieve the required number of votes for implementation. So that was the impetus for it. And that is where it began, with a referendum back in July of 2012. All right, West Bay Central, y'all voted? Good. Goody. Next up, we have West Bay South, which is Andre Ebanks and Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Give me 1 second. Let me put this one up on the screen. Let's go ahead and vote. West Bay South. There you go. Results so far shows 78.41% of the votes for Andre Ebanks, 21.59% for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Okay, continue to vote. QR code, if you want the link, strawpoll.com/WBS for West Bay South 1. WBS 1. All righty, honey chill. All right, did we do West Bay North? No. Oh, hold on. No. My bad. Let me back up. West Bay Central, West Bay South. Yes. So let's move on now to Georgetown North. So Georgetown North is going to be Joseph Joey Hugh with the PPM. Independent, Mr. Amelia Welcome. Georgetown North. There's a QR code. And this one is a bit surprising and shocking in that Mr. Amelia is winning 56.99% versus 43.01%. Oh my God. Listen to me. This is going to be a different kind of party. If Mr. Amelia takes Georgetown North from the PPM leader, wow. That would be one of the biggest upsets in Cayman's political history. But it has happened before. So don't sit back on your laurels. And in fact, Mr. Joey Hugh did not even put up any signs until Amelia declared a nomination day and started to put up her signs. So I think that's interesting. That says a lot. He was not worried that anyone was even going to run against him. So he hadn't done any advertising, no signage, no nothing. Georgetown North, folks, cast your votes. Yes, sir. That's where it's at. All right. Let's go to Georgetown South. Now, Georgetown South is, let me just back up here. Georgetown South is Craig Fester Frederick, Alric Lindsay, Gary Peanut Ruddy. Cast your votes there. This is a very, very interesting race as well. So far, we've got Alric Lindsay in the lead with 55.56%. Gary Peanut Ruddy with 37.04%. Craig Frederick, 7.41%. All right. Jamila says change is coming for Georgetown North. Yes, sir. Dewey says, good morning, Sandra. West Bay North. Who is first? West Bay North. Hold on. Let me just back up. So West Bay North. Rolston Anglin with 58.55%. Next is Jermaine Hurlston with 26.55%. Jordan Rivers with 9.09%. And Shakina Bush, 5.82%. All right, Georgetown South, you guys voted. Alric is in the lead there. Now we've got Georgetown East. Georgetown East, who will you be voting for? And the results there, let me just back it up. Georgetown East. This one is Oscar Rogelio Bodden, Emily Decoux, Vassal Bud Johnson Jr., and Roy McTaggart. The results here show that Roy McTaggart is in the lead, 44.23%. Emily Decoux, 29.9%. Vassal Bud Johnson Jr. at 24.77%. And Oscar Rogelio Bodden, 1.83%. You see, this now is where I think that he should probably just drop out. Ms. Vivia, you want it for Georgetown North? Hold on. We just did North. Let me put it back up on the screen. Georgetown North. There you go. There we go. All right, so I'm putting all the polls links in the channel. So I actually forgot to do a few. So let me just back it up here. So we have Premier, West Bay North. I think I need to do a few more in West Bay. Hold on one second. West Bay North. We got West Bay. West Bay West. You know what? Let me do them in one message because I think it's kind of annoying sending them separately. Hold on. Forgive me, channel people, because you're like, why am I getting all these pings? Let me just do one. So West Bay West, West Bay North, West Bay Central has some pretty high numbers of people participating as well. All right, so West Bay Central. And then we have West Bay South. I'm just making sure I've got all these links. West Bay South. Okay. And then we've got West Bay South, Georgetown North, GT North. Let me just see here. All right. Georgetown North. Georgetown West. Georgetown West. Okay. Georgetown West. All right, hold on. All right. All right, let me see where we are on the screen. So that's Georgetown North on the screen. We're gonna get things going here. And then we also have let's see here. All right. All righty. All right, so West Bay North. You guys voted for North? All right, let's move on. Let me see. Did I tell you the results for North? Hold on a second. Let me see. All right, so get your results in for North. And West Bay North, I think we did already in terms of results. Yes, so North Rolston's in the lead. I think somebody had asked her that again. Georgetown North, we did Georgetown Central, no, West, Georgetown West. All right, so there was East. And for East, we had, let me tell you what the results are so far. Georgetown East results are Roy McTaggart in the lead. Oh, yes, I did this one at 41.59%. Yes, we just did that one. All right. So, and of course, the numbers as you are voting are being adjusted accordingly. So Georgetown West, we have Tyree Malcolm Hernandez, Perlina McGaw Lumsden, Craig T. Marin, and Hunter Walton. And results for Georgetown West, let me just get West up on the screen here. Georgetown West. There you go. For Georgetown West, it shows here that Craig T. Marin is winning at 62.65%. Perlina McGaw Lumsden with 27.71%. Hunter J. Walton with 7.23%. And Tyree Hernandez with 2.38%. And I think someone says, you mean Hunter is not in the lead? No, he's not. No, he's almost dead last, And it doesn't look like he's going to be getting his money back. He's coming in with less than 10% of the votes so far. One thing that is worth noting in relation to Hunter, this is a man who really refuses to learn what the laws of the Cayman Islands are. So someone had shared and commented, I think it was Noli Brown, about his situation with planning. And they said, well, how is a mobile device determined? And so Hunter said, it's when you have you have wheels on it. And I reached out to planning because that sounds a little bit ridiculous. So I did reach out to planning. The person that works at planning laughed so hard in my microphone, in my headset. They laughed so hard. They're like, oh my God, really? Why doesn't this guy just call and ask the questions instead of, appearing to have no clue what's going on in this country? He's the one who wants to run the country and he has zero clue. It doesn't matter if it has wheels on it. What determines if it's mobile or not is whether or not it's actually going to be moving. So when they say you get a license for mobile, having wheels doesn't make it mobile. Moving it every day, packing it up, just like all the other food trucks all over the island is what makes it a mobile license. So he knows he doesn't have a mobile license, that he does have a mobile license, but yet because he has a wheel on it, he thinks he can make it a permanent structure at the facility there. I've never heard of anything so ridiculous in all of my life. Georgetown Central. And, somebody doesn't want to learn the rules and they're misinforming people. Imagine if they were ever elected, what that would be like. Here's Georgetown Central, folks. Go ahead and vote. This is Anthony Auntie Ramon, Kenneth Vernon Bryan, and Carmen Tessa McField. Results show that Anthony Auntie Ramon has 65% of the votes. Kenneth Vernon Bryan comes in at 24.17%, and Carmen Tessa McField 10.83%. So go ahead and scan and join that one as well. Like I said, if you're in the channel, I'm going to send all the links here in just a minute. I'm just consolidating the links into one message. All right, so that's pretty interesting results there for Georgetown Central. All right, so keep voting, keep voting. Let me see here now. Then we've got Georgetown South, which is 3 persons running in South. And that is Craig Fester Frederick, Alric Lindsay as an independent, Gary Peanut Ruddy with the CINP. And the results here show Alric Lindsay winning this one at 55.56%, Gary Peanut Ruddy with 37.04%, Craig Fester Frederick at 7.4%. Okay. And then, oops, hold on. Let me put North up on the screen for you guys. GT North. There you go. All right, so go ahead and scan, participate in that. I wonder if that POS Michael Kiles, who's Michael Kiles? I don't know who Michael Kiles is going to disclose all the money he makes from the government contracts for his highly embellished trade school and so-called financial independence after being bankrupt. It wouldn't have hurt if he had given that poor girl even $1 single towards the child that she had for him. Talk about a deadbeat dad. Oh, Michael Miles. Oh my gosh. If he's going to disclose his government contracts, he's a deadbeat dad? What? Which girl? Oh, Lord. Wow. Hot mess. Oh, yay. All right, so Georgetown Central. I had up on the screen. You guys got Central, right? This is now Georgetown. Oops, hold on. Oh, I'm supposed to be on Georgetown South. Give me a second. So this was West, Central, and this is supposed to be, no, that's not North. Hold on. Georgetown South. My apologies. There you go. Georgetown South. All right, so go ahead and scan for Georgetown South. Georgetown South. All right. Georgetown South. All righty. Then we have, let me see. Is that all of Georgetown? We've got South. Oh, Georgetown East. We didn't do East yet, right? So East, did we do East already? Georgetown. I don't think we did East yet. Hold on. Oh, yes, we did Georgetown East. My apologies. Very good. All right, so let's move on to Red Bay. All righty. So Red Bay is this one here. Red Bay. And those running for Red Bay, Philip Ebanks, Leon Gold, Roy Tatum, Don Thomas, and Melrose Natasha Whitelock. And the results there show Melrose Natasha Whitelock with 50% of the votes, Roy Tatum coming in with 26.4%, Philip Ebanks coming in with 9.8%, Don Thomas 9.62%, and there you guys are voting because I see the numbers moving. Leon Gold with 3.74%. He should have no votes whatsoever. Has anybody ever ran and got like no votes? West Bay Central, Miss Lily shows that Kathy is in the lead at this time, according to this. Has anyone ever ran and got no one voting for them? That would be interesting. With the allegations against him that are widely known in the community, including a case for rape, which he was, the jurors let him walk. You guys need to go read the case details. Trust me. Maybe it's just him and his wife voting for him. That's where he gets a 3.5% from. I don't know. Marshall says, I don't know where any of these, where some of these wannabe politicians are going. Some of them know they don't have a chance of putting foot in the assembly. Yes, and then all they do is split the vote. Morning, what's going on with this Leon guy? Haven't here seen anything. Look for votes, but I see 2 huge signs with his face. He, girl, please. Like I said, nobody in their right mind should be voting for him in any regards. But yeah, he's wasting his wife's money on this campaign. Because, he ain't got no job or no money. So he lives off the wife, who's a lawyer. So poor them. That's why he wants this job, because he's been in the, what's it called? In that port group. So he now thinks that because he's in that port group, he's popular. They're so confused in that port group. They sit there and stroke each other's egos. And so that's why certain people in that group wanted to run, because they somehow think that that represents the general population in this country, which clearly it does not. Let's move on to Prospect. For Prospect, we've got Sabrina Teresa Turner, Michael Miles, and Crystal Gomez Wilson. Sabrina, my apologies, is coming in at 50.51% of the votes. Michael Miles at 40.4%. Crystal Gomez, 9%. So if you want to vote in that one, there's the QR code there for Prospect. We're getting to East End. We're getting to East End, Miss Jenny. Don't worry. Do we know who is Hernandez? I haven't seen a picture of him. He's really notorious in stealth mode for this election. Well, I mean, if you don't know him, That means he's obviously not doing an effective job campaigning. Why these people are even on there, as Marshall just said, I have no idea. Not seeing any of the links after you posted. I'm going to send them in the channel, Damien. I'm putting them all in the channel, actually. So just give me a second here. And I'll send them as one post. I'm still grabbing them. Okay, so I needed to grab Red Bay. Yes. Okay, so, oh my goodness, excuse me. Feeling like I could get back in bed this morning and curl up. All right, moving on to Savannah. Savannah. We have Heather, Diane Bodden, and Donna Bush. Running results show, let me put this one up on the screen. Savannah. Let me see here. All right, there's Savannah, good folks. So Savannah has 66%. Heather, Diane Bodden, Donna Bush coming in at 34%. You know, this is so interesting for me because, I mean, the PPM is just going on grabbing people. But I do think that Donna knows she can't beat Heather. And I also think that she's just kind of doing this for fun. And that really what's going on here is she actually is going to simply go over to DART for the new radio, the new TV station. I think that's the real plan. And she's like, let me try a thing in between the real plan. So I believe that she will be, mark my word, 9:55 on March the 13th. I'm telling y'all what's going to happen because I have a sense about these things. So let's call it from now. Let's call it for Donna actually going over to work for the new TV station, which feels a lot like K-Man 27. Everything that I've seen them do, they're basically rebooting K-Man 27. Even their morning show is called Daybreak. So there you go. All right, so that's where I suspect Donna is really going, not in Parliament. All right, let's move on to Newlands. My apologies. Newlands is next. The polls show Mr. Wayne Panton in the lead. I think Raul Gonzalez is one of those people who should definitely drop out. But I do think that there are people who are messing with this poll. And I suspect it's the party who doesn't have anyone represented in it, because this is what they do. They will then go and vote for, they'll throw their vote. So they are working very hard to get their members to vote. And I have seen it. So I know what I'm talking about. And so what they're doing is, because they have no candidates here, they're telling their people to go ahead and throw the vote and vote for Raul, because there's no way that Raul is getting that many votes. I can bet any amount of money on it. He'll be lucky if he gets 10%. So that's what they're doing. Not nice to do that. And it doesn't take a brain scientist to figure that one out. Marshall says, now you know Hunter's still growing. His brain hasn't fully developed. He doesn't have any sense. Lord have mercy. Vivia says, but still can't blame them for thinking big. But in my opinion, a lot of them are wasting their money. Well, I guess government needs the money, so we'll take it. Yes, I'm going to give you guys all the links here and on the channel. Good morning, God of Egypt says, how are you doing? I'm good, my darling. Very, very good. That sounds like scandal about Michael Miles, but that's the price you pay when you put yourself in the public eye. Yes, I mean, I don't know much about his life. So he was married before, or is this just a child that he had? And then, wow. I mean, people don't like fathers in particular who don't support their children. You know, boy, I tell you what, nobody couldn't, if I was a father, y'all couldn't keep me away from my kids. Let me see, somebody's calling me. Who is ringing my phone? Hello. Michael has a child with Debbie Ann Whitaker that he doesn't own. The girl in the pink looks just like him. That's the child. Deputy Chief Officer in Wes Howell's ministry. Who his daughter is, or the mother? The daughter, the mother is the Deputy Chief Officer. Oh, he has a daughter he doesn't own? What? I'm not so sure she looks like him though. I mean, obviously, she probably looks more like her mom. She's cute. Oh, really? He doesn't own her at all? Like, he doesn't acknowledge her? Or he just doesn't support her? So how y'all know that that's the man's child? Ooh, Caymanians. Y'all be up in people's business. Bodden Town West, BTW. This is Ozzy Osbourne Bodden, Heyman Rankin, and Chris Saunders. Well, the one thing we know for sure about this poll, Chris Saunders is not winning. He is coming in. We did North already, Miss Marjorie. He is coming in dead last, in fact, of all the polls they're taken. And I think that that is an indication. You know, as the gentleman said earlier, even him just threatening people in Parliament would be reason enough not to vote for this man. So there you have it. So y'all give me the sus now. Let me see. So this person says, didn't see West Bay Central yet. We did it, but I'll send out all the links here. Mother works with government. This man says she for him. Caymanians, boy, she for him. You're not got to worry about that. We know who she for. But he doesn't acknowledge her. He doesn't have a relationship with her. She looks like she's probably quite older, like maybe 20s, 30s. So that's his first child then. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, honey Chiel. I can't imagine what it must be like. Listen, Cayman is full of all kind of mix-up. And y'all know Caymanians, we some of the worst when it comes to mix-up business, right? But I have always felt very, very strongly about this, that you own your children. No matter what, you own your children. I don't care. She works at SEMA as an HR manager, and he claims he has a big family. He's a big family man. Oh man, that's kind of messed up. Still, oh, I hate to hear that. I don't know, boy. You got to own your kids. Life is too short. Wow, not the children. Bodden Town East. Results got Aussie winning that one. I mean, Bodden Town West is Aussie winning. Bodden Town East, now that is between Dwayne John Seymour and Robert Anthony Bodden. And it shows Robert Anthony Bodden winning. Oh, I wish them Bodden Town East people would really make this happen. Come on, Bodden Town East, y'all can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Go, Bodden Town East. Go, Bodden Town East. I'll even come out there and cheer for y'all to get it right. Oh, let me put up the Bodden Town East one. Hold on. I hope y'all do the right thing. BTE. Come on through, honey child. There you go. Yeah, you know, this is the thing, right? When you run for politics, all your business is going to be hitting the streets, honey child. Everything that you did and you didn't do and the whole 9 yards is coming out. So you can rest assured that if you've been up to no good or whatever, people will definitely, this is the one time they're going to disclose it. So I don't know. Maybe go fix those problems first. I don't know what the complications are with a child. Obviously, she's an adult now, but own the child, own the child. Let's move on to North Side. North Side showing Jay Johanna Ebanks winning with 80.77%. Justin Craig Ebanks, 19.23%. So there's North Side. Anthony says, I don't think a no vote is possible. At least he should be intelligent enough to vote for himself. Assuming he lives in Red Bay. Does he actually live in Red Bay? Because remember, Anthony, you can run where you don't live. So I don't know. I don't know where he lives, and I don't want to know. Trust me. Keep your kids away from that yard. I'm just saying. All right, let's move on to East End. I do have a video session, an interview I have to do at 11:30, so I'm watching the time. And I need to give my voice a rest between. My apologies. East End has 5 people running, and when you do this, you're ensuring that the incumbent will get back in. Oh, honey child. They got, hold on. Let's go back to the list. They have Delmira Bodden, Roydell Carter, John McLean Jr., Isaac D. Rankin, Jiva Richards. Results so far show John McLean in the first place, Isaac Rankin in second place, Jiva in third, Delmira in fourth, and Roydell with less than 2% of the votes coming in dead last in the 5th spot. I think it might really come down to John McLean and and Isaac, but because so many people are splitting the vote for this very small constituency, I do believe that it's going to be hard to call, and that in fact, what you will have happening here, folks, is the incumbent will probably get back in. All right, so East End. Let's go to Cayman Brat West. Oops, sorry. East End, there we go. Cayman Brack. All right, so we got Cayman Brack West and Little Cayman. Yes, honey chill. This now is between Nicholas DaCosta and Lonnie Tibbetts. 75% win so far for Nicholas DaCosta. And I think that's about right. I think Nicholas will win. Now, there's a lot of questions. My apologies, Media Warehouse. There are a lot of questions about, say, for example, for CINP, only 2 people get in. They have made them sign contracts where it says, if you try to form a party with, my apologies, if you try to form a government with another party, you will be penalized and you have to pay back all the money. So remember I told you that they are, they're going to be, they're paying their candidates $5,000 a month plus $10,000 and all that good stuff. Well, they have to pay that money back. So if for some reason they decide to swap and try to form another, they have signed a piece of paper, a contract that says Dan Scott will sue you, basically, if you do that and enforce that clause where you have to pay his money back. Okay, then. So I guess that's one way you keep loyalty, as you threaten to sue people. Cayman Brack East, because it would be breach of contract. So that's why he'd be able to sue you, and rightfully so, I suppose. Cayman Brack East, this now shows Dan Scott in the lead, interestingly enough. And this is Cayman Brack East is Ruth Ann Bodden, James Albert Christian, Juliana O'Connor Conley, Maxine McCoy Moore, and Lehman Scott. And it does show that Mr. Scott is in the lead with 57.14% of the votes. Cayman Brack East. And that should be everyone. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to send out all of the links to everyone in case you haven't had a chance to vote. Let me see here now. All right. So all of the Windsor Park crew, I'm sending you guys the links. Go ahead and vote in those. And then let me just add, hold on. I'm going to edit that slightly. Give me 1 second here. Going to slightly edit that to include some of the others that I had put before. Copy link address. All right, give me 1 second. West Bay Central, Georgetown East. Let me just edit this and add Georgetown East in there. And then who else did I need to add? Hold on 1 second. Multitasking here. And then that way you have them all in one singular message. So sad story just posted on CMR this morning. There's a young lady that used to work here in the Cayman Islands, and she's from Honduras. Unfortunately, she was killed in Honduras yesterday evening. Her and the husband or the boyfriend were gunned down, and very, very sad. She died yesterday in La Ceiba, Honduras. Boy, ay, ay, ay. Wow. So sad, so sad. Give me 1 second here. It's just one of those things where, you know, just a sad situation. All right, so I'm just putting all of the links into one. I got West Bay North, the premiere and parties. Make sure to copy link address. So if you want to then forward it to your friends, all the links are like in one message, basically. And then preferred party. All right, give me a second here. There we go. All right, so all done. Okay. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ada. How you doing today?
Not bad. How you doing?
Yeah. I think you should ask the people that participating in this this poll to those that only vote in that particular area, because
you can ask them, but they're not gonna. You can ask, but they're not gonna do it.
Really, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true poll.
Yeah, I
not
mean,
true idea.
well, it's not a poll.
A general election, now that you vote anybody would they call it that.
It's not a poll. But yeah, there's no way to restrict that. So you can ask them, but it's not gonna matter. People can do what they want to do.
Yeah, because really, you're not gonna have a really good idea.
I think. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna disagree with you, because I think a lot of the way people feel, generally speaking, for most of the districts, will actually hold true when you get down to the results. And stick a pin. Because for those of you who don't believe me, all I'm going to say is wait and stick a pin until the results come in. The percentages, I'm not swearing for the percentages, but I think even a lot of those are going to be pretty spot on. But I do think that the order of who wins, who comes in second, who comes dead last, for those who have more than two, you're going to be surprised that the polls are going to be extremely accurate. There's one or two that I know are not accurate because, like I said, because a particular party doesn't have a candidate there, they're trying to throw those numbers off. And one of those areas is Newlands. I don't think the Newlands, the order is right for Newlands, but the percentage is nowhere near what it's going to be. Raul is not getting that many votes, but what they're doing is they're throwing it off. And listen, they're so stupid, Mr. Dean, because they don't know that although I'm not in their little chat groups and whatever, I have access to pretty much everything that they be sending out and everything that they be saying. I'm just not divulging it at this stage, but Auntie got her 4 eyes on them, and I'm watching them very carefully. and I get to see what their characters really are. They want to talk about their Christians. Well, good Lord, if we got them kind of Christians around the place, but we don't need no devils or sinners. Thank you, Mr. Dean.
Yeah, okay.
Marshall says no vote for those kind of fathers. Tartarian says exactly, leave Michael alone. I don't care if so. I'm sure he has a good reason. I have problems too with my family. We all do. Huh. That's interesting. Marshall says if that's Donna's original plan, she shouldn't be splitting the vote, but I guess it's a PPM paying the thousands for her to run. The 1,000 for her to run. Dee Dee says, to be honest, the vote splitting and the ones that has caused themselves to be used to make life hard for the people of Cayman should be ashamed of it themselves. They will suffer even more. Many nominated candidates need to simply drop out so the quality of life of Caymanians can improve. Yeah, people like Raul. Raul has never, ever, ever even come close to winning, right? Where he should think that anything has changed in the last umpteenth elections that he's won, that he has ran in, my apologies. So why would he think now that this is going to get any better? You know, Dee Dee, all he does is split the vote. And clearly he's got a few dollars to waste. Same thing with Miss Maxine Moore. She should drop out. I mean, I'd love to see a lot of these candidates just drop out of the race and just have the two strongest, which we know who they are, run. Carmen, I'm sorry, Carmen. I love you. You're a cousin, whatever, but you're nowhere close to being able to win. Hunter, drop out. Jordan, drop out. You guys are just splitting the votes in a way that makes absolutely no sense. Damien says there are three sides to every story and the truth. Caribbean Aviation says, Sandra, but Michael Miles from Prospect claims that he's a family man, I guess, with this current family. How can he disown his own daughter, Brianna Whitaker Miles? That's poor of him. He doesn't take her on his ski trips to Colorado, which is why he missed nomination day. What a hot mess. I mean, she's an adult now, so I don't know if that can be repaired, but I mean, were him and the mom married? Was he married to the previous woman? Or that was just like a fling? Were they together for years? Like, I don't know any of the details, so I can't really speak on it. Anthony says, Sandy, should we trust candidates are running for political office and have their social media profiles on private or locked? They should set up separate pages if that's the case. I personally do a little research. I always go to each candidate's social media and I do background checks and see that most say they have been making and see what posts, they've been making, which usually gives a clear picture of who they are and and what they're about. PPM candidate Dalmira is one of those prospective candidates. I mean, if that's their personal page, I think that they need to set up a, because, I mean, I don't think that you need to be looking at people's personal page necessarily, but I think that if they're running for election, they should at least have a candidate page that you can then view. But of course, that's all going to be very, that's going to be very controlled, right? Marshall says, whatever they do in Kim and Brat, just remember, no juju. Demezio says he's been running so long, can't win because of karma, a hypocrite and living flesh. I've been with his wonderful daughter, Brianna, for almost 5 years now, and she is a blessed young lady. He doesn't even speak to her, not even one breath. We can't be voting for these people because they don't even care about their own. Wow. So you're her significant other, you're her partner, Demezio. Oh, that's so sad. She seems like a lovely young lady. I mean, I don't know her, but wow. Oh, that breaks my heart. But again, I don't know what this is about. I don't know. And, I sympathize with family drama because I've got my fair share of it. I think a child is different, that relationship. Having said that, I'm not best friends with my mother. So, I mean, I guess if I ran, you guys might be saying stuff about that. It's not that I don't speak to her. I speak to her and I'm always respectful. I have never, ever, ever disrespected her, but we don't have a close bond. So no, I would never be going on vacation with her. And that's just because I didn't grow up with her as my mom. So when I left, I was young and I don't have any memories of her. I have tried, to my credit, I have tried over the years to mend it, and it was not well received. So I don't know what else to do. And I know that obviously she is an advanced age now. And so I don't think you can force a relationship either. I've tried, and I've got people saying, "Oh, keep trying, keep trying." I'm like, how many times would you accept being rejected? Now it's like awkward. Now it's weird. But I do have respect. If I see her, I'm happy to give a hug and say, "How you doing?" and so forth. No disrespect at all, because I don't believe in disrespecting your parents regardless, right? So very, very interesting, Demezio, and sad to hear. Okay. Shaka says, I think that caller might be trying to say that it's not scientific. This isn't about a scientific poll. This is to gauge the general response. But I can tell you one thing. I can tell you that you all are going to be surprised how accurate these polls are. Here's one thing that will definitely be accurate. The PPM is nowhere near the majority. The PPM will struggle. So here are my predictions, right? Mark it down. March 13th, 1019, Auntie Sandy is giving her predictions. PPM will struggle to keep their Georgetown stronghold. So traditionally, the Progressives is a Georgetown party, right? They run in Georgetown, and they've traditionally held Georgetown. Now we see them trying to branch out. Supposedly, their political analysts told them that the mistake that they made last time is they had people run with them who were not part of their party. They had Austin run, who was not part of the party. They had, oh my gosh, who else ran? Let me see here. We had Austin run. We had John run, and others who was up on their platform, but they actually weren't PPM members. So this time they said to them, you got to fix that, because that impacts your perception of how many candidates you're actually running. Instead of saying, oh, we're working with independents ahead of the election. No, get them to commit to the party. And that's what they've done. So John is on board. Julianne O'Connor Conley's on board. So they've required that this time around. And then they also blame CMR for why they didn't win the last election. You go figure. So I think the PPM is actually going to lose more seats. So where they traditionally had like Georgetown South, they're not going to win that seat. The one with Perlina, they're not going to win that seat. So they're going to definitely lose those two. I think McTaggart will hold on. Joey, Central, big question mark. So PPM may only hold 1 or 2 seats in town. John, maybe, because again, Bodden-Towners, y'all got to step up to the plate. And Juliana, 50-50. So they may only get 3 or 4 seats. The funny thing is CNS did a poll, came on news service. And in the CNS poll, I'm going to start to wrap things up now, by the way, because I do have to run. In the CNS poll, they showed that the progressives only had, they said CNS readers reject PPM team in Dream Government poll. And they only showed them getting something like 1 or 2 seats. But I think that this is accurate. Yeah, so I think the progressives is the weakest they've ever been. Yep. And some of the independents who are independents, they're not going to work with the progressives. And they're probably not going to work with CINP either. So there's some very, very strong independent candidates out there. And I think that if they are elected, they're likely to work and form a government with the TCCP. Those are my predictions. Now, debates are on tonight. Make sure you tune in at 7 o'clock for the debates. We will, folks. We will be doing all the debates, live streaming on CMR. I'm going to go schedule the one for tonight now. They start with, let me give you the debate schedule so that everybody is on the same page. We'll post this up on social media as well. And you got to pay attention to the debates. Of course, I'm going to be keenly watching the debates or having my team watch it with a view to then giving you guys some feedback on the next day in terms of how the debates are going. Give me 1 second here. So I think they start with East End tonight. So we're going to put that up. Let me see here. Stuart says, how can the polls be accurate if anyone can vote in them, not just registered voters? Because this is one of the interesting things about polls and statistics, right? Just like you do a poll in the United States of America, by and large, they are very, very accurate. They're going to say who you're voting for. Some of those people may not even though they're eligible to vote, they may not show up on voting day and actually vote. You don't know that. You don't know how many people are actually going to show up. I think that they give you a good sense of how people are feeling in the community, Stuart. So I think, and probably 97% of the time, those polls are going to be 100% spot on. Like I said, April the 30th, the following day, on the Thursday, we're going to come back. We're going to go through the polls, and I'm going to show you exactly how accurate they are. Mark my word. I will bet you money. I'm not a betting person. I don't really bet. But I will take you to lunch that these polls are going to be 97% accurate. Because the community talks, a community as small as Cayman, even non-voters have a sense for who is strong and who isn't strong and who's going to do well. So here's the schedule. March the 13th is East End, then Friday is North Side, and then Monday they go to Prospect. I'll post this entire chamber debate schedule up on our social media channels, folks. So tune in tonight for that. All right. Beautiful. Which candidates have confirmed for the East End debate? We don't know. You have to just tune in and watch. Blair says people are over PPM, too many expensive projects, either not done or not finished to start. You want change? Don't vote for those who have over a decade to prove they didn't get stuff done. Life is too short. They have to go. Stuart says 90% or lunch is on me. You got it. And listen, you're not getting away with no cheap lunch either. You know, I want a good steak lunch or something. Ooh, lobster pot. I'm going to think about my steak options. But yes, I think 97% accurate. I think almost every single one will be accurate. And like I said, the ones that are not accurate is because I know that I'm not one of the lesser parties. When I say lesser, I just mean they're not the most popular. I shouldn't say the most popular, but newer parties, they're actually going in and skewing the party votes in that one. But the order, so when I say 97% accurate, I mean the order of who's going to win is what's going to be accurate. Yep. Rena says, I wonder if the other two parties had paid to play on this page, who would have gotten pushed up the most? How can that be, Rena, when I only get one vote just like everybody else? So the perimeters for the poll are in place. We have blocked it by IP address, and I can tell you, I have tested that this works. So if I've already voted once in my household, that's it. There's no way for anyone to trick the IP address thing, because even I tested this with Siobhan. She can tell you, we even took her phones, went to Thai Orchid for lunch, jumped on their Wi-Fi network and tried to vote from the same phone, and it would not allow you to do so. So how is CMR going to be fiddling with the polls? First of all, I don't have time for that. So I would have no desire to do that. That would defeat the whole purpose of even having a poll. And secondly, there really is no way to do it because I am actually paying money, pay attention to this, paying money for a poll that has these restrictions in place so that you guys can be honest, because clearly we can't leave you up to being honest on your own. So 2 things we put in place, and both of these are very, very important. The first one is it's blocked by IP address. And the second one is it is actually also blocked by VPN. Because if you were able to jump on a VPN, then that means that you could actually vote from a VPN as well. And that has been tested and that works. And that's also in place. I can put one additional one in place, which would be require a user account for voting. But I thought that that was a little bit too much because then you'd have to sign up for this poll system. But I hope that that's not necessary, that you guys can be honest. And I think that most of the results, like I said, are probably relatively correct. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Ms. Sands. How are you?
Morning, not bad. How you doing?
Yeah, I would have saying that with the poll system that you're doing there, right? I find it kind of dangerous in a sense to say that. So you remember when in the polls in America had Kamala Harris leading that she was going to beat Donald Trump?
No, the polls actually, hold on. Let's get that information right before you go on to your conclusion about it. The polls actually showed them in a dead heat because polls have a margin of error of normally 1 to 3%. If someone is, say someone is at 52%, 53%, right? They're going to be the winner. That is too close to call. That is what you call a dead heat. And that is what was happening with Kamala Harris and what's his name? Donald Trump. And in fact, in the end, Donald Trump really pulled it out in the red states. So he beat her by quite a significant margin. And also keep in mind that in the United States of America, it's by electoral vote. It's not by popular vote. Cayman, our system is by popular vote. So whatever your conclusions are, they're not really going to hold true, because you're not comparing apples to apples. And, it's not about, the issue isn't about the polls. It's about how their system works. And yes, they were going into dead heat, but polls are very accurate. Even with, let me give you an example of this, right? Even with when Tower Marketing does their annual media consumption report, when the first one came out and I looked at the sample size, I said to them, tell me something, the sample size, 1,500 people or whatever, that doesn't sound like a lot of people. How do you know that that's accurate? And they have done the math, right? So there are people who study polls and there are people who are, I don't know what a poll, expert is, but those people, she said, even if we double the sample size, once you take into consideration the margin of error, the results would still be the same as long as you're not within that margin of error. And I said, really? She said, yeah. So people think you need a large sample size to really gauge what people are thinking. What you need is a diverse sample size.
All right. You see in America when they You see in America when they do the town hall meetings, when the politicians go to each town and do the town hall meetings, so they do sample size like this. Say you come to Newlands, you say you do a ballot paper, they come with a voter's ID. This will be an exact, you can know exact what will happen. You do a sample size, Newlands got 1,600 voters. You do a sample size in Newlands. You say every voter that come into my polls and do a sample test, I got donate people to each charity, and they come and do it. You put a ballot box, you add that up. That'd be an exact sample size. If you go into each community and get the voter's ID itself, they come in, but you wouldn't know what actually they're picking. You'd be like anonymous, see me like an original poll. If you understand what I'm saying. And next thing I was saying too, when you as a host saying on the radio that you should use a disclaimer and say that that's your opinion, because when you say that they must win, Chris can't win, hear what you do now. If I vote for TCCP,
I didn't say that. I didn't say they must win.
Example, I never say no. I have seen an example. If you're saying that one person can't win and one person must lose, what I'm saying to you is that I could be a TCCP supporter, right? And you saying that this one going to win, I could be laid back and say, boy, Miss Sandra, say, boy, my party going to win. And then you go to the polls. Then the one that you say going to lose, you can fuel their base. and their base get up and say, well, you're going to change the narrative. So I say you can fuel a base and you can make another base get laid back. So you got to be careful with the poll thing. Like
well,
that.
I mean, if they're inclined to do both, then I mean that's a matter for them. But no, I think in relation to the polls, I know that one particular group has been advocating for their members to vote in the polls more than anybody else, and that's a fact. And they're not, that's why I say that you can't go by the percentages for them.
I just want you to say it based on what you're saying. I just want you to say to the people them that no matter what I just saying no matter your opinion is or whatever you say on your show, please go to the polls and people said it. I don't want nobody to get laid back because we.
Oh no! I mean, listen to me. Not the polls. You mean the election? People need to go out and vote in the election.
But yeah, so I think you that. But remember now, if I see a poll and seeing that my part, the person I voting for got 90%, and I gonna lay back on my holiday.
Oh no! I just think everyone should go out and vote on election day.
No matter
every vote counts, because listen, somebody can win or lose by a single vote. So every single vote counts. So I will always encourage, and I've always done so, every single one to go out.
You don't get people late, but Miss Sandra. All right, cool.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, no, everyone needs to go out and vote. That's a right that people have died all over the world for. But what I can also tell you, folks, is that without fear of contradiction, again, like I said, we'll see come April 30th, the order of some of these polls you will find is going to be very, very spot on. So interesting. And some of them I'm looking at the, and like I said, there's some that I know a little bit about the candidates and why people are voting a particular way. And so I know that the numbers are not going to be, it's going to be a much closer margin. And again, that is why you definitely want to go out and vote without any reservations. Everyone, quite frankly, should be going out to vote. All right. So yes, these are not scientific polls, folks. This is just gauging kind of how the community feels. Anyone who sits back and thinks that, oh yeah, these are scientific polls, or I don't have to work, or I don't have to do anything, you're wrong for that way of thinking. You've got to get out there. All the candidates should be doing the most in the coming weeks leading up to the election. So again, thank you guys so very, very much for tuning in. Appreciate the support. Share the poll, with as many people as possible. Again, obviously it's not based on district or anything like that, but nonetheless, it certainly is very, very interesting. This person says, thanks for the above. In my opinion, PPM will not win Georgetown West and Georgetown South, definitely, and also probably not Georgetown Central. And how cool would it be if Miss Amelia could take Joey? So, wow. When I tell you that that's going to be the upset of all upsets, if Joey loses to Amelia, wow. What a mess. And I tell you what, she definitely has a track record of working in the community, and she's like a hound dog, honey child. She can be hounding for you. So, wow. That is one of the races that I am extremely interested in. I'm going to tell you the truth, because wow. What do you do if your party leader doesn't win? Those of you who are in parties, what do you do if you have no party? Does he have to relinquish that seat if he's not even an MP? Has that ever happened before? Oh my God. That would be so crazy. And it's possible. With at least 2 of the 3 parties, it is possible that the party leader himself may not get elected. This person says, Sandy, if Joey loses to Amelia, that should really bring PPM to check themselves. The people have awakened. But what happens? Do you get another? Because then you don't have a leader of the opposition if the party leader doesn't win. An official leader of the opposition. Oh my God, I need to ask about that. That's crazy. Wow. Let me go do some homework. Y'all have a beautiful day. See y'all tomorrow. Okay, honey child.
Hello, this is Ralston Anglin, inviting you to my campaign launch rally on Saturday, March 15th at 6:30 p.m. at the Cayman Turtle Center's parking lot. Come out and join me for an evening of testimonials, plans for our future, light refreshment, and local entertainment. Remember, on April 30th, vote number 1, Ralston Raleigh Anglin for West Bay North.
Hey everyone, this is Alric Lindsay, your candidate for Georgetown South. Join me for a meeting on Thursday, March 13th, starting at 7 p.m. at the South Sound Community Center. Let's talk about planned developments in the South Sound Basin, crime, traffic, and other matters. See you there.
Good day. My name is Romelio. Welcome, candidate for Georgetown North. We are here today to show proof of things that have gotten done in our community of Georgetown North with Mr. James Forbes. Mr. Forbes reported to me that he was having issues with his roof. I called an act of random kindness and they did an awesome job for him.
Here am I, Mr. Forbes. I have reached out to Ms. Romelio. Welcome. And she had did a lot of work for me, like fix my whole entire roof, tear up positions in my house to do them over, and everything that she had did was up to date, and I could appreciate whatever she's doing, and I will be grateful that she will be represented in all of Georgetown.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.